Greetings, adventurers. It is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, 4 p.m. in the West. Sam, what time is it in Europe right now for you?
Right now, for me, it's 10 past midnight.
Okay, it is Thursday morning, where our Dungeon Master is. Truly the international game of Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to GrowedUpGeek Gaming. I am your host tonight, not the Dungeon Master. I don't have fancy stuff above me. Welcome to Season 2 of One Shot Wednesdays. Thanks to everybody who tuned in for Season 1 all the way up through our amazing season finale last week. So long ago, Season 1. Nick Raz, who spent a lot of the time with us last season, thanks for coming out. To our two newcomers, welcome. Season 2, new beginnings, and most importantly, new Dungeon Masters, so I get to play. We lost somebody. We lost Raz. Alright, we'll get the overlay kind of set up again. We'll just chop this real quick.
Oh, Raz says that Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so Season 2, we've begun. This whole thing is we're going to have guest Dungeon Masters to give me a chance to play with people in our community, give them a chance to shine, and most importantly, give me a chance to learn from other amazing Dungeon Masters that we have in our Discord community. So we will start. It's going to be a little weird because I'll host and then I get to turn it over. So we'll start by meeting everybody real quick. Quick character intros. We will turn it over to our international correspondent, our Dungeon Master this evening, and we will jump right into our level 13 two-part adventure, The Shadow Within the Hill. Like I said, I am Manny at GrowedUpGeek on your social medias, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. If you like what we do here, give us a follow, like, subscribe, anything just to let us know that we have your support because we always appreciate it. New videos on YouTube Mondays and Tuesdays, so check us out there. Give us a sub, bump the algorithm, really be helpful. So tonight I will be playing Loris, a Gith aberrant mind sorcerer / Watcher's paladin, who I felt like could not have been a better fit for this camp, this little two-part adventure. He was kidnapped by something from the beyond. It messed with his mind, giving him his sorcerer powers, and since then he has sworn an oath to protect anybody else from having that happen to them. Let us move to No Pressure, our first timer this evening, joining us. David, tell us about your character, Baxiros.
Yeah, so Baxiros is a changeling sorcerer warlock. Doesn't really care about too many people other than himself. Willing to do whatever he can to gain power and wealth. Pretty brave in the face of danger, unless that danger's face is a zombie, and then he's brave from about 300 feet away.
Fair enough. All right. Let us move to two of our veteran Wednesday players, two people I'm really happy to get to play with after all the trouble that they've caused me. Let's start up top with our min-max twins, just loving to cause all kinds of shenanigans. Nick, tell us about Caliban.
Yeah, so Caliban is a former sellsword, former current sellsword. He was sellsword in one spot, then he had to move away for various reasons. He is a full elf, wood elf. That's right, wood elf fighter with a little bit of sorcerer in him, and will be using a musket.
Okay. All right, man. Jesus Christ. Do you have some sorcerer in you? Do you want some?
One level.
just the tip. Got it.
Got me.
Got it. All right. The other half of the Shenanigan twins, and also people who actually built my character because I trust them to do crazy multi-class builds. Raz, tell us about Kalinari.
Yeah, so be playing Kalinari this time around. Kalinari is a paladin of the ancients, defender of the natural order and life, and also got a little bit of warlock, a little bit of bard in there because I can't play any one thing or I'll be bored. But Kalinari is here because he heard these people were in trouble and they were having these terrible nightmares, and as a Kalashtar, he feels like he's the perfect person to help them because of his inability to dream like all Kalashtar. So he feels almost obligated to help in this particular case.
Uniquely suited for the task. I love it. So those are amazing players. Like I said, David, welcome. Glad to have you here. And let us turn this over to our international correspondent who, like things who come in the night, is deep in the night where he is. Our Dungeon Master, Sam, thank you for taking the reins or taking the stress off of me for the week. And I'm going to turn the show over to you.
Happy to. Thank you. Yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity first, and thank you to all of you for being willing to play in this horrendous spawn of the deep and dark recesses of my mind where eldritch things twist and turn.
So,
yes. Yes, I'm Sam, or Caldrin as I go by on most places on the internet. And as I said, the little two-shot adventure, The Shadow Within the Hill, is my kind of creation and is also set in my loosely homebrewed world, which I'm slowly building up through various one-shots. So this will be building up the lore of the world if I ever start to run a campaign in it. So thank you to all of you for being test builders, I suppose. And yes, so
I'll add it to the resume.
A bit of background to this adventure for you all, which I've given to the players, but I'll recite again now if I can find my notes, because I'm heavily disorganized right now. No. So our band of players all comprise a small band of sellswords and mercenaries. You all residing within the southwestern, sorry, get my compass wrong, country of Aigla. Each of you have worked together now for some period of time at least, whether it be a year, whether it be a couple of years, well enough you're at least familiar with one another at this point. Recently, you've all been given a job of travelling to the farming settlement of Aigton, a remote location that is largely self-sufficient, a farming settlement. However, and the reason why this has been such a key location, the reason why you're being deployed there, is that it is one of the major contributors to the food for the capital city of Aigla, Wissia. Over the past few months, all contact with Aigton has fallen silent, and this has begun to worry the nobles and the lords and the emperor himself. Well, silent apart from one single missive, which was received a couple of months ago. It read as such, and you have all been handed this missive at one point or another. Terrors haunt our dreams. Our crops and livestock are rotting and dying at an alarming rate. A number of us have gone missing, gone by morning. The shadows seem alive. Send help. Each of you have been briefed on the fact that a small number of groups have already been sent to Aigton. However, none have returned, and none have been heard from since. The missive itself was signed by Lord Vissector, who you were briefed again is the magistrate of the town, the mayor and magistrate in equal measure, and the person you ought to make contact with. As I said, at this point, about 6 groups have been sent, none have been heard back from. Right now, the situation is getting desperate, especially considering Aigton itself is a very key location as it borders what is known as the Untamed Wilds. Some magical cataclysm happened there centuries ago, and that place has since been uninhabitable, but also rich in resources, and you have also been told that a recent mining expedition was sent to Aigton. That too has fallen silent. With the promise of 800 gold apiece, and should you just return, with a further 2,000 should you bring important news, you've all begun to set off on your journey. The road to Aigton is well travelled. So for Wissia, the capital, to the village itself, it's not a hard journey by any means. You were told and you expect it to take only a couple of weeks, and those weeks have passed by pretty quickly. This morning you all rose, confident that you will be able to reach it to the village by nightfall. Along your way you've met a couple of bandits, a couple of roaming beasts that you've also put down, but nothing that can match up to the might of this small group of sellswords and mercenaries. Confident in your strength, you've been marching onward, the sun beginning now to dip towards the horizon. Already, however, the world has begun to get noticeably colder, a mist beginning to drift in. A mist that those of you who are more arcanely attuned can tell is not natural by any stretch of the imagination. A mist with strange senses to it, especially towards those who are keen of mind or alternative planes. You know for certain now that whatever has set upon Icton itself, whatever shadow has stretched upon the people, is not normal by any stretch of the imagination. At this point in your journey, you are reaching about an hour from sundown. You know and are confident in the fact that over a couple more hills and dips in the landscape, you will reach the village itself. That you will be able to lay eyes upon this small location, this farming settlement. As the 6 of your shadows stretched along, as the 5 of your shadows stretched along, the sun dipping down closer and closer, each of you are hit by a sudden sense of fear. Your heart rate's picking up suddenly, your breath catching in your throat, your limbs tingling with adrenaline as you get sent straight into immediate sense of fight or flight. Each of you dart forward, terror biting at your heels in a way that is not natural whatsoever. Those of you who are aware, especially as I said, of the arcane nature, know this is not natural, but you cannot resist it in this moment. It is primal. It is innate. This idea that some predator is looking down upon each and every one of you is resonating within your souls. And as the 4 of you catch your breath, as the terror suddenly fades, you raise from your panting posture and you realize you are now suddenly before the village of Icton. No more than 10 minutes away, whereas before you were hours. Of you all, Kalinari and Caliban, as all 4 of you rise and straighten your posture, looking around desperately to find out what has just happened, it's only the 2 of you that see a slinking shadow vanishing into the tree line. Something that was not cast at ground level, but from above. Something that interposed itself beneath this sun, which is now much lower than it just was. Something that was looming above you and is now no longer there. The village is as you see before you in the virtual tabletop on Albert, which I don't know if it is. There's no defensive fortifications, apart from a low slung wall. You can see the thatched roof, some looking in disrepair. This heavy aura of despair lingering over this place. Some buildings have lights burning within them. Fire or candle, stove or lamp, you don't know. But some are just left empty, similarly cold and abandoned in this state. You see a few people wandering around. One herding sheep, one walking around, sword at his waist. Eyes paranoidally scoping around, yet not quite seeing that which is before him. Not noticing you. Despite this evening, everything is quiet, apart from the sounds of nature. What do you all wish to do?
How far away is the village? Is it, we can see it over several fields, or where the person is
You're about a field away, if
Okay.
that. It would take you no more than 10 minutes to get there. Whereas before you had no sight of it. As you straighten up from that sudden run, it was just there.
Huh.
Being especially sensitive to fear of this kind, given my history, I'm gonna just have a firm grip on my glaive, and still, despite the overwhelming sense of fear having subsided, I'm still gonna be very defensive, and almost not so much paying attention to the group, but just very alert and kind of spinning in a circle constantly, just to ease my mind as best I can.
Yep. If you want, just make me a quick perception check. Just as you kind of steady yourself and get into that. Anyone can make a roll if you want.
Did you say we could see any life there? So I might have missed that.
Yes. There is a couple of people moving around, a couple of lights of fire coming from within some of the buildings, but a lot of them seem cold and abandoned at this moment.
3 for my perception check.
You see nothing.
Yeah.
Whatever was there, it's gone.
Were any of you able to get a glimpse of what that was?
You saw it too, that dark thing.
I don't.
For a moment.
I haven't seen anything, but I know it's here.
Say that again, Bex.
I said, what thing? I didn't see anything. And I started to get all flustered.
Yeah, it's right as I woke up. It's like a sleep paralysis demon or something. Just some sort of figure, some sort of presence.
I immediately go on the defense at that point.
If you want, at this point, everyone can make me a perception check. Just so, as you all, I imagine, will be starting to scan around.
15.
Okay.
20.
Okay.
Also 20.
Okay.
18.
Okay. All of you see this. Just in the trees, just to your right, you see some shape. It's hard to describe, hard to really identify. It seems to shift as you look at it. This shadowy mass that doesn't seem to have actual form, and yet is more than just a shadow. Each of you see, Baxiros, you see 5 red eyes winking at you. Caliban, you see 3. Kalinari, you see 9. And Loris, you see 1. Each red and gleaming out of this shadowy mass, just blinking at you before the shadow just seems to collapse in on itself.
So just to clarify, we see one shadow, but we all see different eyes.
Yes,
correct?
one shadow, different eyes.
I'd like to use my divine sense to see if I can detect what kind of being it might be.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, it'll tell me whether if it's a celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead. It'll tell me as such.
You reach out with your divine sense, calling upon that innate holy fire, and you feel nothing.
Well, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem to be anything I've fought before.
Nothing extraplanar.
Not that I can tell. Could this be, one or more people watching us?
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to just... It says a shower of sparks, so I just always picture that as like kind of just a flash of light real quick. In proximity to it in the tree to see if, the foliage is what's obscuring it, and see if like a flash of light will give us like any better perspective than odd numbers of glowing eyes.
You reach out and do so, and you see nothing there. But as you feel the arcane weave kind of retreating from you for that moment after casting your spell, you, Loris, hear a single sentence spoken into your mind. Welcome, brother. Just this whisper at the back of your head. Something you have not felt for a long, long time.
I'm gonna look at everybody and see if anybody else has a reaction as if they heard something. Did you all hear that? Is it... And we get like especially paranoid now.
Didn't notice anything.
It was right behind me. No, nobody.
There was nothing
No.
behind you.
You're
We
crazy.
would have noticed. When have I ever let anything sneak up on you?
Well, it's more about the one time something did get me that I'm worried about, as opposed to the times we've looked out for each other. And as I'm doing this, I'm making no eye contact, and I'm just especially paranoid, glaive out. I know what I heard.
I think at this point, all I saw was the 5 eyes.
I only saw one.
I saw a bunch.
Yeah, you guys need to get your vision checked. There were at
And
least
how many did you see?
8 or 9.
I don't like odd numbers of eyes.
Okay, this is weird, guys. I think at this point, I just want to head to town.
Well, that at least I can agree with. I have no reason to stand where something is obviously trying to spy on us.
Yeah, we can get some walls to our back.
If we walk away from this tree line, it'll have to come out if it wants to keep its eyes on us, reveal itself.
We say we do some bounding, make sure that nothing can sneak up on us as we walk away.
I agree, brother.
I
I was just thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna have my back to town, facing like the tree line, and almost not be aware that everybody kind of takes their move towards town. I'm just gonna be so fixated on the tree line and focusing on it that whatever everybody else does, I'm gonna be kind of oblivious to for a second.
As everyone moves away, and you feel that empty space behind you, it's not empty. You have this kind of feeling of someone just standing behind you. It does not abate as everyone moves away. Even though you might hear footfalls, it does not abate, and you just feel a slight brush to the back of your neck. Might have been a breath, might have been a finger. Just a slight pressure that sends the hairs on the back of your neck standing on end. And then there's just nothing. That's a sense of absence behind you just suddenly returns, and you realize everyone's beginning to move away.
I'm going to take one last look at the tree line, and I'm going to move with a little bit of quickness to catch up with everybody, but still with my back to them, facing the tree line.
Mm-hmm. I won't make you roll to.
Is it dark at
move
this
backwards.
point? Like,
It's getting there. As the sun before your tower was beginning to set, right now it is setting.
so, but we can still see.
Yes, yeah, it's not completely dark yet. As I said, from the fact that fires are beginning to lit within the town, you have the idea that it might soon go dark. But at the moment, you've still got the light of the setting sun to go by.
I'm gonna pick up the pace. I want to be in that town before it gets dark. So,
As you pass the wandering swordsman, who seems to be doing like a patrol, he in no way reacts to your presence. Indeed, as all of you do get closer now and able to see more clearly his village, his face is just almost blank. Lax, if you will. Not expressionless, but completely just, all the muscles in his face are just completely loose. And his eyes seem to be gazing at something that is not there. They just gaze into the distance, basically.
so howdy. It's been a long journey. Where could we find lodging?
As you speak up, he seems to come to a stop for a moment, and just slowly turn to look at you. There's no reaction, no change. He just looks at you for a moment.
And doesn't reply.
Just silent.
So I'm just gonna look at the group and be like,
I'm gonna make my way over to Bax and see Yeah, obviously. So wait, it's just like he looked through him.
Yes, he's just staring through everything and anything around him, basically.
I'm gonna get.
If anyone wants to make me an insight to try and tell a bit more, or medicine check or something like that, by all means.
Ooh.
Now that you're able to see him clearly.
17 for insight.
Okay.
I was gonna do like an
Nice.
Arcana to see if he was under a spell or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Do an Arcana if you want.
Ooh, a whopping 6. Or sorry, no,
Okay. He doesn't.
no, 10. Sorry.
Alright, he doesn't sense you under the spell. For you though, so the best you could try and describe his state right now is he is completely disassociated from everything around him. He is just almost withdrawn so deeply into himself, out of some sense of terror. He's just trying to blank out everything around him. What he's doing now, this kind of patrol, you get the idea. This was just what he did beforehand, and he's just walking that path now to kind of do something. He is completely tuned out from such extreme fear. He's retreated into himself.
I'll reach out with my my Kalashtar mind link and speak to him telepathically and ask him if everything's okay. And I'll grant him the ability to reply to me telepathically as well.
Okay. At first, you hear just a rush of thought, kind of tumbling over itself, begging, pleading, sobbing, crying, this complete sense of childlike terror, almost. But as you kind of, that link begins to kind of form a bit more stronger, begins to settle. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And even those of you that don't have the type, I think, he just seems to shake and eyes refocus, and he's just kind of nodding to himself for a moment. I'm fine. I'm fine. He looks up. Oh, sorry, God.
I was just gonna motion subtly to my companions that we should step away.
What's going on?
I don't know, but something is wrong with him. Like, I swear there's more than one person in his head.
While we're having this huddle, I'm gonna still my back to the group, just kind of trying to just get a better idea of what's going on with poor Farmer John here.
Yeah. He seems to repeat that phrase himself for a second, Joe. I'm fine. I'm fine. And this time verbally doing so. And he seems to jolt and look up at you. Just looks from person to person. Seemingly seeing you for the first time, and yet not reacting in fear or anything like that. Just kind of astonishment and thankfulness would be the best way all of you could describe it. He just takes in your appearance, your weapons, your armor, your accoutrements, various accoutrements, showing that you are in some sort mercenaries or sellswords or adventurers, I suppose. Oh, God bless. God bless. You came. You came. You came. Finally, you came. And he just lunges forward, and whoever's closer to him, you just have this sobbing man clinging to you suddenly. Finally, we were heard. You came. Finally. Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us what has happened. Where is everybody? I'm gonna do it like in a sort of a non-sympathetic way, direct to the point.
Yeah.
I need to get it from him.
They were gone. Then they were back. They're gone. Then they're back. And then the others, they left. They just left. They got to them, and we tried to stay. This was our home. We tried to stay, and thank God you're here. Thank God, God's bless. Elder Tazel, you need to see Elder Tazel. He seems to jolt to himself for a second, and points over towards basically what on his image is basically the church. What seems to be the church, the large steeple rising, bell tower rising above. You see the thatched roof is a bit worn away, and you can see the support beams in one place. But he just points in that direction. You need to see Elder Tazel. He'll God bless. God bless. God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to. I want to just put a hand on his shoulder and tell him, "Calm down. It's going to be fine."
Someone finally came. Thank you. You finally listened. You finally heard. Thank you. And he just kind of falls into this repetitive state of just almost the emotions suddenly crashing into him, essentially, is how you'd best describe it. He's just emotionally overwhelmed in this moment.
Why don't you show us the way?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Come with me. Thank you. Come with me. And he'll kind of take a moment to kind of compose himself as best he can. And if you all follow, he will indeed lead you towards that church. As you draw closer, you realize now the sound of silence you heard, the sound of just nature around you, holds true even now. Whereas you might have expected to hear the sounds of farmers returning to their homes after a day's work, you might have expected to hear the sounds of people begin settling for the evening. It's dead silence, or close to dead silence. Like there's very few people here compared to what there once was. This cloying sense of the high trees and the high hills that surround you, that lead into what you imagine is the untamed wilds, seems to stretch now to this town. The individual you met, the guard you met, seems to stumble a bit every now and then. More from rushing and then trying to stop himself from rushing, as he just hurries to lead you to this building. Just in here. Elder Tisdale, he's in a meeting right now, but if you go through, if you go through, I'm sure the elder will be seeing you soon. Thank you. Thank you again, please. Thank you. The gods are kind this day. Thank you.
I'm gonna pat him on his shoulder and try to comfort him as well. And then I guess kind of just, all right, man, that was your moment. I'm gonna, I guess, push past him and go into the church, but maybe keep an eye on him as we go in to see if he kind of goes back to his, I guess, patrol path, or if he goes and does just something else.
As you do enter, I suppose the rest of you as well, just keep an eye on him. You notice he doesn't revert. He stumbles off, and he stumbles into someone who you too notice has the same kind of sense of disassociation to them. Grabs onto them and starts talking to them rapidly, hurriedly, urgently, and it seems to shake them out as well. And their eyes glance over to you with just this sense of relief and thankfulness as well.
So almost as though he's snapping them, everyone in the town, into the trance, this kind of thing.
Yeah, the best you can tell, and I'll say, Loris, with your previous insight, I'll say you can kind of spread this to the rest of the group as well. What you can kind of tell is everyone here has been in such terror, constant terror, with the nightmares, with the shadow that was mentioned, whatever that means, with the alive shadows. They just seem to retreat into themselves to protect themselves. You all being here seems to give hope. However slim, it's a hope they're all grasping to now, so very tightly, and they're kind of pulling themselves out of this disassociation. This is something new, something to focus on, essentially.
these people have been starved for help, it would seem, that our sheer appearance has buoyed their optimism. Whatever is haunting this place has probably been here for a while and has tormented these people for just as long. I'm glad we're here.
Sorry, don't mean to intrude. If anyone wants to just make me a flat intelligence check, you can more accurately kind of guess how long exactly at this point.
Ooh.
Might as well.
4.
13.
16 with a negative
Well,
1.
you said investigation?
Intelligence.
Just flat intelligence.
Oh, fine.
Oh, then 12.
Okay.
11.
15.
Okay. Lois and Kalinari, you're the two that kind of run the timetable through your head, essentially. So you know that the letter arrived in the capital after around 2 to 3 months ago. It's taken you a couple of weeks, 2 weeks journey to reach here. And you know that any message would take time to reach. Similar to Game of Thrones, I use in my system ravens. Ravens are used to carry messages. So while it won't take 2 weeks, it would have taken time at least for the message to arrive. Then it's however long it took for this thing to actually start up to the point where they felt the need to reach out. So I'd guess the two of you kind of come to the idea probably close to 3 to 4 months, edging more towards the 4 months this has been going on for. So a third of a year. These people have been under whatever effect has begun to invade.
Did you not say at the start that we were like the 6th party sent out, though?
Yes, you're the
Yeah.
6th party.
Does if Kalinari and I can kind of decipher that it's been a few months, does the town look like it's been maintained like in a regular fashion this whole time, or are things overgrown and it looks like work, everyday life kind of stopped here at a certain point a good little bit ago?
Yep. I would say you won't even have to roll. It's kind of obvious what's going on. Is just as you look around, you can see some of the buildings. The thatch, for example, has peeled away entirely, hasn't been repaired. You can see some grass has grown overly long, but it's in sections. It's almost in certain areas have been abandoned and forgotten. Other areas are still being lived in. And it seems, while shabby, there's a sense of trying to maintain things. But some areas seem like they have been abandoned for months.
I'm going to point the kind of lesser maintained places out to everybody in the group. People have already given up and have left, or worse. I fear for the state of those who have remained all this time.
I'd like to see if there's like a pattern to what is still maintained and what is abandoned. Like if it's like outer working in or anything like that, right? If I can kind of find any kind of pattern to it.
I'd say on the surface, because it's very easy to pick out what's been left alone and what isn't. So I won't even require a roll really. You're just looking around, we'll be able to see this. It's in patches. There's no pattern that you can discern. Some houses have just been left, whereas the ones right next to them are completely fine, and the one next to that on the other side have been left. It's completely in disarray, essentially, and completely random as to what has been upkept, what has been left.
And then the last thing I wanted to pay attention to was, we said that we've seen a couple men. Is there any women or children that we can tell?
Yes, yeah, there are still women and children going around. Very, very few children. You can hear some children voices coming from inside, so you think most have just been, at this point, are just kept inside. Just for whatever safety it will offer, it is whatever safety it will offer, basically, at this point. So you get the idea that the odd child you see running around, just in this like couple of minutes you might take, seems to be running, basically run out of a building to immediately run into the next one. There's no tarrying, there's no delay, they are running everywhere. So it seems like for the children, it's been the idea of keep them inside because that's the only thing we can do to protect them. Women, again, you do see wandering around, though everyone looks very haggard, tired, withdrawn, slightly deep dark bags under the eyes, things like that. It seems in some effort to try and protect the children, some innate primal instinct, they're just being kept indoors.
Did the children look disassociated?
Yes. Although not to the same degree, I suppose. That makes sense. With the adults, it seems complete disassociation. But with the children, it seems it's almost they are looking, they're kind of that blank gaze, but they're more with it.
But before we go into
They're
the
more resilient.
church,
sorry.
I'd like to,
Yep.
stop one of the running children and ask them what's going on.
How do you stop them? Because as you go,
Just kind of
do
like,
stop them.
cut them off a little bit and just say, whoa, 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 come here for a second.
Just ignore you entirely. It's see you, head goes straight down, gaze straight to the floor, hunch over, and just run right past you, or goes to run right past you.
Okay, then
Just this kind of defense
back and
of
say-
just run.
not the friendliest bunch, and rejoin the group. Actually,
Does everyone choose to enter the church, or do you want to
Yeah.
keep looking around?
Let's meet this elder.
Yeah.
As you enter the church,
Def-
oh, sorry, good.
I'm just, definitely eager to help these people, and
Mhm.
glad that our presence has at least offered some hope to people that have clearly just been in a rough way of it for a long time.
Caliban
You can notice now.
is
I was like, good. No, good.
Caliban is no stranger to the destruction or the social destruction that follows some sort of actual destruction, and the way a city can a tragedy can affect a town like this.
Mhm.
So he's starting to see that this is definitely similar to what he's seen before. Maybe
Yeah,
not in what's going on, but how it's affecting the town.
Yeah, for you, Caliban, actually, this is a site you're very familiar with. War-torn towns on the edge of the battlefront. You have seen this basically, just desolate fear, just leading to people shrinking in on themselves, just in a hope to kind of find some form of security, even if it's within their own minds, but who are too stubborn to leave. This is very familiar for you. As you each enter this church, you can see it was once a church, but any stained glass that was here has been destroyed. Any religious iconography has just been removed. It's been stripped bare, essentially. Not so much in a way of vandalism, but more as people began to fear more and more, rather than leaving the iconography in the church, it was removed and kind of put into the homes. In some hope of having God closer to them, these gods closer to them would give more comfort. Or some protection of some sort. So it doesn't look vandalized at all, it just looks like everything has been removed to be moved elsewhere. As best you can guess, at least. As you do enter, Kalinari and Caliban, you both hear raised voices coming from what looks to be a recently established door. Would be the best way I can describe it. It's like part of the church has been sectioned off. You can hear 3 raised voices coming from behind, 2 male, 1 female, each getting louder and louder. Well, one of the male voices, one of the female voices getting louder and louder as they kind of argue on top of each other. And you can hear a third trying to establish control.
Can I try to listen in and hear what's going on before I do anything?
Make a perception check. And Kalinari, you can do the same as well if you want. And if you point this out to the other two, the 2 of you can as well. Try and listen in and catch what's being argued.
Yeah, I'll kind of gesture for everybody to be quiet and ears to the door. Try to use hand and arm signals and all that. Everybody take a listen.
I rolled a 28 perception.
Okay.
Nice.
15.
Okay. Okay.
Expertise is paying off.
Lois, Baxiros, do you want to join in as well?
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
got 20.
I'm gonna be keeping like my eye on the door as we make our way in and let the more perceptive members do their thing.
Baxiros, what did you say, sorry?
I rolled a 20.
Okay, the three of you then can make this out. It's not like it's a thick wooden wall paneling door, whatever, however you want to describe it, but you can still hear beyond. You hear. Check my notes. I will not allow the words of such a foolhardy imbecile as yourself be the one to put the blame upon me for this situation. You hear a return. I will not allow you to put the blame upon me either. This is your fault. You brought this upon us. The third kind of interjects. Both of you, be quiet. Do not spread your fear and madness to the masses. This is a time for leveled heads. Be quiet. And it carries on in that kind of situation.
Kalinari will raise a gauntleted hand and bang quite loudly on the door in way of knocking.
Mm-hmm. There is immediate silence. And then the third voice speaks out. Enter.
Fair enough. Open the door.
Yeah.
Okay. As you step through, you see three individuals are gathered around a quite large table. The first to your left is a dwarven male. Large, bushy black beard lined with grey. His head is completely shaven, and you can see what seem like dwarvish runes have been tattooed onto his skull and go down his back. He's clad in a very rough spun tunic that looks a bit quite fine, but very worn would be the best way I can kind of describe it. He's currently stood up on his chair, fist slammed down on the table in front of him, and is glaring at the second figure who is on your right. This one is a very tall, very lithe female elf. Her skin is dark brown, tanned. You don't know if it's kind of, and very weathered as well. So I've seen a lot of sun, a lot of harsh conditions. Her crimson red hair is pulled back tightly into a long single braid that goes down the back, and she is dressed in a similar manner as the dwarf is. The third is a small, hunched over, elderly gnome. Very pale, very wrinkled skin, decorated with liver spots, essentially. He has a thick white forked beard and thick sideburns, and he is similar to the dwarf, completely bald, although this time no tattoos. As you enter, it's his eyes that turn towards the three of you, and definitely sees the one who has entered, and is definitely the calmer of the three. Well, don't just study around. Come in. Come in.
Yeah, I'll immediately start kind of looking at everybody, nod forward, unless anybody gives me an indication that they don't want us to step in.
You know, Kalinari happily, lead, I guess, and give just a curt bow.
As you enter, the four of you enter, the gnome turns to his two companions. Helema, the crook, perhaps for another time. Yes, your families need you in this time. Go, we will continue this later. They both give a bow to him and a bow to you, and kind of slip out behind you, closing the door behind them, and almost immediately you can hear another argument begin to start. This, again, muffled, although if you do listen in for the first few words, it seems again it's an argument of blame.
So the gnome is
do...
still there,
okay.
And the
yes.
elf and the dwarf left.
Yes,
and...
the elf and dwarf left, the gnome is left. The gnome is left. And he's sat at the head of it. What you see now is a round, rough table with like 8 chairs scattered around it, only 3 of which were in use. Please take a seat. And you can perhaps tell me why you're here. These 3 definitely seem the most lucid of anyone you've met so far.
I'm going to kind of roll my eyes at the question, tell us why you're here in in like a feigned, not even a feigned disbelief, almost exasperation of, you know, having seen what we've seen just in the short amount of time that we've been here. And I'm going to kind of get close to him and look him in the eye and, you know, be able to tell if he's got that dissociative or just anything amiss about him.
He seems extremely lucid, as in fully with it at the moment, and as you draw closer, just stares back at you, his kind of electric blue eyes just glaring back. Put your expectations back behind your teeth, Gith, and take a seat. Now, perhaps the three more polite of your companions can tell me why you're here. He seems, what was once a welcoming persona immediately closed up as you kind of leant in to examine him.
I mean, we're a team here, so I'm not really liking the way he's talking to my friend at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point I'm going, why don't we just cut the crap? Why don't you tell me why I'm here? You.
For months we have weathered nightmare and pain, disaster and torment, and yet now you dare to turn up at my doorstep.
I apologize for my compatriots, but as you may imagine, this line of work does not always invite the most polite and sociable of individuals.
Look
Good
over
sir,
her
I
back.
will be honest with you. I don't care how polite you are, as long as you might be able to alleviate the torment of my people. Nevertheless, despite how long we have been left to suffer, a call has finally been heard.
And what is
It
the
took it so
torment
long
for people?
for those nobles to decide to send someone.
These
Took
things
as
don't
long as
happen.
it took for coin to leave the coffers.
I'm not surprised, whereas my people had to suffer, starve, lose their sleep, and while the nobles keep their coin. Nevertheless, I am Kagrin Teziel, elder and current council leader of this town. You're welcome, despite my misgivings.
Misgivings about us specifically, or just inviting outsiders at all?
The cry for help was sent out, and we have heard naught from any for so many months.
Not for
You are
any.
the first here. You are the first here. So I have misgivings about how long it took. Perhaps
I
now
look at-
finally something can be done.
I look around and I say, first to be here, we're the 6th or 7th group to be sent. Are you saying that none of the other groups, that nobody that's we've already sent has been here, has even made it?
I may be old, but I am not senile. None have been here before you.
Had they turned back or simply not made it in time, we would have passed them, at least one of them, on our way here.
Yeah.
I kind of perk up and I'm like, well, this just got interesting.
Indeed, I will say, so I meant to say this in my beginning spiel. Each of you are aware 2 of the 6 groups did send messages back at one point saying we have arrived. So to your knowledge, 2 made it for certain.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes, by all means, do an insight check.
$18.
He's telling the truth. He's been entirely truthful. You can see he's a bit agitated for the exact reason he said. To his mind, you are the first ones here. There's no lie in what he said, and his agitation directly comes from the fact that it's taken so long for someone to come.
the messages, I'm pretty low on the totem pole. I don't know if I would know this, but did the messages come back on the ravens?
Yes, the Lord of the Sector, who is the one that gave you your job, who I think all you had been introduced to as one of the High Lords of Wasea, the capital. So very high up on the totem pole, as you said. Basically, gave you the full briefing of 6 cent, 2 cent confirmation of arrival. The last 2 cent, 5 cent. You're the 6th. The last 2 cent confirmation of arrival, and they were beginning investigations.
I'll mention that.
There has been none here before you. As I said, I am not senile. I would not forget it. There have been none here but you. Now, whatever game you're playing is over with. Can we get to business, please?
Please.
Thank you. So, what do you know?
I know you need a better guard.
No, you mean Colin. Yes, good. We debated keeping him home, but it eased his mind to walk the paths.
Maybe find something that eases his mind a little harder.
If I could, I would, trust me. But every night we sleep and we dream of terrors that you cannot imagine. Every day we wake to livestock dying and our crops wilting. There's been no live birth from our animals since we are running low on anything we have to maintain ourselves. Our stocks are dry at this point. Trust me, right now we are in desperation.
Sir, if you'll pardon me asking,
By all
what's the
means.
date?
I didn't actually give you any of the dates as a DM, so I'm just going to say he answers the correct date. Because I can't remember the calendar I have for this world.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a good question,
largely
yeah.
irrelevant as long as,
Yeah,
it's the day we
It's
thought
the,
it was.
is the right day.
Yeah.
It is the right day.
Is there a newspaper around?
In fact, yes, there's a massive newspaper pinned to the wall. It's got the exact date listed on it. Seems there's
Today's
new
cartoon.
one on
Its
every-
horoscope circled.
Yes.
Dark and foreboding afternoon. Shit. Same
You'll
as yesterday.
face challenges today.
Same as yesterday.
Yes.
Damn it.
Susie's cut out the cartoon and pinned it on a separate board as well. There's a large collage has been set up. but yes, he does give the correct date.
Thank
I'd
you
like to look
for
more
indulging.
into how 2 parties, 6 parties went missing, but 2 were able to say they were here but never were here. I'd like to look more into that, but I really want to find out what it is that's causing this problem. So I'm going to just start probing hard for questions on what is actually happening.
Okay. As you probe him to continue, he does begin to lay out the details as he knows them. He describes that let me step into the voice. It started around 5 months ago now. The first report. It was not here, but out in the Baxiros mining camp. A couple of miles into the untamed wilds, they found a vein of mithril apparently and sought to tap it. There were reports of strange whispering, sightings, eyes staring at them from the shadows. And then something happened. What, I cannot tell you. All I know is only 3 returned alive. 1 sadly passed away in their sleep 2 weeks ago. 1 is near insentient, but is conscious in the medical ward. The 3rd left. Just fled in the night. From there, it spread to here. Terrors assault our dreams every night. We cannot sleep, we cannot rest. It wears at us. There is something in the shadows staring at us constantly. We do not see it, but we feel its weight. Dekrock, the dwarven gentleman of the pleasant disposition you just saw, he put the blame upon Helima, since she is the one that heads the Zygoras mining camp. She in turn puts the blame on him, saying that whatever witchcraft his family practices is what brought this affliction upon us. All I know is, as things worsened, people began to leave. They left in droves. I tried my best to keep the order. And then a number of us vanished. Just gone. Wives woke to their husbands gone and husbands vice versa. Children would just vanish from their crib. The elderly just walked away, whereas previously been infirm. Just gone. Gods be kind, they returned to us a week ago. Just stumbled out of the forest of all things, you know.
How is it that you're unaffected?
I cannot give the true answer, but as best that Sebastian has been able to ascertain, focus and drive is the best thing we have found. Something to pin our mind upon rather than what terrors, some meaning, some purpose in this nightmare. Others have slowly lost themselves, and as I say, this is why with Colin, we just let him walk the paths and hope it keeps his mind in some degree. I'm not the only one. Helema, as you saw, and Dekrock, they are still fighting. Sebastian, our healer, and his sister Luciana. And that really is all at this point. We are the few that try and keep things together. But things are failing. This shadow, this curse, affliction, whatever you wish to call it, whether it comes from the wilds themselves, whether it is something deep within the earth, whether it is even something that Dekrock has brought upon us, I don't care anymore. The particulars don't matter. All I know is it is afflicting my people, and they suffer for it. More evils every day, whether by choice to just venture off, or by sadly losing their grasp on everything and slipping away. We are few in number, but I was here when this village was formed. 300 years I have lived here. I have guided these people. Many feel the same as I. This is our home. We don't wish to leave. Yet we are hunted by whatever is in the shadows.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a lot to go on, but you do seem confident that all of this started in that mine, correct?
It was the first report, and so it is the best we can guess. I would have, if he is focused, Friday, the only one, the only survivor we still have. As I said, he's insentient most of the times, but you might be able to get something out of him. We've tried, but it is just a maddening babble most of the time. If you wish to speak to him, as I say, Sebastian, our healer, is looking over him in the ward. I can direct you to him. If there's anyone you wish to speak to, I can direct you to them as well. Just whoever you wish. You can give help, and the gods are kind, and whatever is in my power, I will help. I wish my people to be free. Sorry, go ahead.
Are there anybody in the town who was somebody of influence? Anybody well liked or important, sheriff or something like that, that also has not lost the hope? Somebody that we should start talking to after the one survivor?
There are none. There are none. There is only I and the council have been running things for centuries at this point, and it is only I, Helema, and Dekrock who are left. And as I say, Sebastian and Lucien, but they are more council members now, through low numbers. As he says this, can everyone please make me an intelligence check?
17.
12.
Wow.
3.
I got a 20 on
On
the
a fifth-
die.
Any 15 or higher. And I think I actually messed up some NPC names before. So I'll do the corrections now.
Okay.
The one who gave you your mission was Lord Kerrick. My bad. But you told the missive he received, or that he showed you at least, that gave the report, was by Lord Visektor, Magistrate and Mayor of the town.
Sorry, Lord Visektor?
Lord Visektor is the magistrate of the town, essentially. He was.
Is that who we're speaking to right now, or do we have a different name now?
You're speaking to Elder Taziel.
Okay.
If anyone wants to make me an inside check, because he just said there's no one but him and the council, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
You are aware of one other.
Yeah. I thought we were talking to the person who had sent for us. So
I did too. I missed the name.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
You could 15 on
Oh,
the.
that 20.
19 on insight.
Okay.
glad you guys did well. I only got an 11.
All of you know he's telling the truth.
I begrudgingly
He's telling
know.
the
I don't
complete
like
and
this
utter
guy.
Okay, so he's
Yeah, no,
telling
he's
the
telling the
truth, but
complete truth.
they don't match up. So he's telling the truth about this, and it doesn't match up. He's telling the truth about no one else getting here, but that also doesn't match up.
Everything he has said is entirely truthful.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying. I think he honestly doesn't know.
Yeah.
Something has messed with his memory.
So, do you know where? Speaking of people we should talk to, do you know where we could find Lord Visektor?
Lord of the Sector. I am afraid I know no one by that name. My apologies, I cannot help you there.
Do you
I
know?
can,
who-
however, before I forget. Yes, and he starts looking through like the desk, the drawers of the desk, essentially next to him, running through some pages, and he brings out a key which he sets on the table. It can, however, give you lodgings, considering the night is soon to set. But I cannot give you the directions to this Lord of the Secretary. I've never heard by anyone by that name.
So I kind of want to like snoop around without like just with my eyes, kind of maybe casually walking around the room, glancing to see if I see anything that has any resemblance to that name, like as though he really is that person, but he doesn't realize he is.
Yeah, make me a investigation check.
Oh, like a
Anyone
card or
else wants to
something?
join in at this point? Say again, sorry?
I'm asking like a card or like a name tag, something
Yeah,
like that.
Or like some kind of a letter that was
Yeah.
written, or
Yeah. There's
to
no
him
name
from
tag or
him.
anything like that. There's no
15.
card or anything like that.
21.
But on 15 and 21, you do find, as you're just running around, you can see there are like write-ups of meetings and things like that, ledgers of granary and things like that, just kind of scattered around. And he, while completely lucid, is completely exhausted. You can see like that he has almost completely black bags under his eyes at this point, just from lack of sleep, and so he's not really paying too much attention to what you're doing. As you glance through these papers, you do see a Lord Sector mentioned a couple of times. You also see Kagrim Taziel, Elder, mentioned. You see Halema Zageros, temporary council member and mining commander, mentioned a couple of times. You see Dekrok Dinern, council member, and he's mentioned a couple of times. You see a couple of reports have been given by Sebastien Morem, as in his capacity as head healer, Lucienne Morem, his sister, as in her capacity as head ranger, and you see numbers of other names as well. But the names he has given you seem to be true. But so is Lord Visektor.
Is there a date on anything having to deal with like Lord Visektor that we could say you know, at some not say, but at least know ourselves at some point he was a you know.
Yes. Yeah. One of you got a 20 right on the investigation.
21.
Oh, what a mindset stuttered.
21.
21. So I meant to stuttered a bit there. Okay, on that 21, yes, there are some dates written, certainly. The last mention of fraud for sector is on a write-up of a meeting, the transcript of it, essentially. Notary, whatever, I can't think of the word now. It is dated 5 days ago, and and as you glance through it, it's on a discussion of the worsening condition of the people.
So is it to Lord Vistector, or is it like he is part of the meeting? Like a minutes of the meeting kind of thing?
Yeah, the minutes, that's it. The minutes of the meeting. Yeah. So it's of Lord Vistector, Elder Taziel, Helema, Decrox, Sebastian, and Lucina. All of them are talking about this. So all the names that he's given you plus Lord Vistector were 5 days ago in a meeting discussing the worsening condition of the people.
Yeah, so I'm going to definitely take that and call him out on that because I'm, you know, I want to get some answers. I feel like we're getting the runaround here. Whether he believes what he's telling us is the truth or not, we need to get the actual truth, right? So,
as you've shown that,
I'm going to keep a firm grip on it so he can't take it out of my hand as well.
As you show him that, then as he looks it over, you see just his brow furrow in. Going by your previous insight checks, just complete confusion. He is completely bewildered by what you're showing him. I don't. No, there's no Lord. I've never known anyone by that name. I know I haven't. No, I have never known. What are you showing? What? And you watch as just blood starts to pour from his nose. He bends over, clasps his hands to his ears, and going by your passives, Kalinari, you watch as he's just hunching in on himself for a moment, just blood dripping down from his nose. He seems to shake, quiver for a moment, and then just straighten up, back to normal. And no, I've never known anyone by the name. But in that moment, before he straightens up, Kalinari, you hear what seems to be a hissing song in the background. It's this weaving song that seemed to that was previously inaudible, seems to pitch up for a moment, and then settles back down just as he straightens up. I know no one by that name.
I do have a question.
I don't know what forgery you're presenting me with. Go ahead, sorry.
Do we still have the letter? Like the original summons?
You have a copy of the transcript, a copy of the missive. The original missive is kept back in the capital, but you were given a copy.
And it would also name him.
Lord Vistector, yes.
Briefly, I'm going to telepathically reach out to Caliban after hearing that that strange sound, and tell him, I think something nearby may be affecting him. Keep your eyes open. While stepping forward with the letter and saying, Lord Vistector is the one who summoned us here. So if you've never known anyone by that name, I suppose we must be in the wrong place.
Imagine you're in the right place, but this Lord Vistector, whoever it is most kind to call you to our aid. If you're directed to Acton, then this is Acton. This is where our troubles are. But I do not know this Lord Vistector. Whoever he is, though, he's most kind. As his eyes just kind of naturally wander over the minutes of the meeting. Those of you, I don't know what your passive insights are, so I'll just go by passive perception again. Of Caliban and Kalinari. You both see his eyes almost skip over the name. they just jump over wherever the name Lord Vizector would have been in the meetings that Baxiros is still holding. His eyes just seem to like either glaze over, or just jump over the name like it's not even there.
So I like that where Kalinari is going with this calling his bluff kind of thing, saying that I think we're in the wrong place. I kind of want to run with that. I think that was pretty clever.
Yeah, I'm gonna push him because either he's going to break or whatever's doing this is going to break.
And my thought is, we're not going to get anything out of him and those other two that left. So regardless, like we can just act like we're leaving, see if he breaks, and then maybe try to get something out of the elf or the dwarf that left too. Right?
So what I was gonna continue with was, with the letter in hand, basically say, Lord Vizector is the one with whom we made the agreement, and he's the one, who promised to pay. He's the person who sent it for us, and he is the person with whom we will be dealing.
Okay. As you do that, as you push, and then you are of a cruel sort, a fiends and of those of the abyss given form. You would let my people, the innocents of this town, suffer in this manner. You are so cruel to inflict such torment upon them. Then I would not call you mortals, I would call you fiends and dead. There is no one by that name here. There's never been anyone by that name here. And as you just see him panic, essentially push more and more, you watch as the whites of his eyes just turn red. Blood vessels just breaking and bursting. You see blood just dripping from his nose, from his ears, weeping from the corner of his eyes, as he just seems to almost shudder in place. Kalinari, you hear it again, that whispering, hissing melody in the background. There is no one here by that name. Please.
Does it seem to come from any particular direction?
It is everywhere.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
Is it like singing, or is it like a flute, or just like a hum?
It is indescribable. Imagine a cacophony of every form of musical sound you can think of, somehow woven together into almost like a syllabic hiss from a snake. It is unnatural, it is unnerving, it is beyond anything you have ever encountered before.
Who has the key for the hotel room, or for the hotel room, the room?
It is just set on the table. It's set on the table before him, and you just watch it. By the way, he just keeps shaking worse and worse and worse, more and more blood, but he pays no attention to the blood, almost like it's not even there.
Yeah, with him acting the way he is, I'd like to step forward and touch him and cast Protection from Evil and Good on him.
Ooh, yeah, big call.
Okay. As you step forward and cast that spell, reaching out with you, you feel. Let me double check the spell. Sorry.
I'm gonna pick up the key while he's doing
Have you
that.
feeling what it does?
As Kalinari was pushing before he gets up to hit the spell, I'm gonna pick up what's going on, and I'm gonna kind of move with Bax to make if we're playing good cop, bad cop, and Kalinari and Caliban are gonna be good cop, me and Bax are gonna be bad cops. It's like, if you don't need us, we're gonna go. So grabs the key, and we're gonna make a move to the door until we see Kalinari move, step in to do something.
Kalinari, as you cast that spell upon him, his eyes dart to yours. Just electric blue in a sea of red. Just glaring directly into your gaze, not with anger or anything like that, but desperation and fear. One pale, wrinkled, leather-spotted hand reaches out and just grabs you by the front of your armor. A weak grasp, but a desperate grasp that pulls you in close, or tries to at the very least. And do you let him do so?
Yes.
He pulls you in so he can whisper directly into your ear. Do not listen to it. It is here. It is always here. You can feel his body tensing, shaking, quivering, almost. That song actually pitches louder, and now, Caliban, you too can just pick it out in the edge of your hearing, as his body just seems to seize for a single second and collapse down onto the table.
We heard the
He's
music
still
again this
breathing.
time.
Yes, and it slowly fades as he just collapses onto the table. It slowly fades away. He's still breathing, but the blood continues to pour from his eyes, nose, and now mouth and ears. And he is steadily unconscious.
So this time I would have tried to like expect the music to come. So was I able to get anything? Like, was I able to pick out any more details, or is it still
It is
just
the exact same. It's the exact same. It is in this odd sound, this completely aberrant, abnormal sound that you have never once encountered before in your life. To you, Caliban, that's what it is to you, Caliban. However, Kalinari, with it being pitching louder, you heard something within the sound. You heard the chantings of the spirit that is tied to you as a Kalashtar. You heard chantings of many spirits, many sounds odd and strange. You heard voices crying out for help in despair and suffering. You heard voices for the first time you met this group of people. That happy memory buried so deep within your mind was within that sound. The first time you were welcomed as a part of something was being sung to you.
So he's unconscious. That's unfortunate.
He's on. Basically, put it this way: in terms of D&D mechanics, he's unconscious, but he's not on zero. So there's no risk of him dying out or anything like that. But he is unconscious.
I think we should go and see the healer
Yeah,
that he mentioned earlier.
and the person that
Are
they're
we-
attending to.
You guys want to take him to the
So
healer,
should
or
we take him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll not gently pick him up, throw him over my shoulder. I still don't like being disrespected when I show up. I'm gonna hold on to him. I'm not
It's
gonna
very
drop
easy
him.
to do so.
But like I
Blood
said,
all over you.
I'm Gith, bro. I don't care. The least bad thing that's happened to me today. I'm gonna pick him up and kind of look around. I guess I can't like shake him anything before I pick him up.
You can try to do so, but he is completely gone at this point.
Okay.
He is just trapped in unconsciousness entirely.
Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna not so delicately pick him up and throw him over my shoulder. Now that he's unconscious, look around. Does anybody want to look around real quick, just in case there's something we might not have been meant to see with him here?
Yeah, like maybe something that we didn't catch when we had to try to be sneaky about the investigation things earlier.
Yeah, I want to do a full up now.
I will say, because there's no rush to it or anything like that, because you're not in a hurry, you're not trying to be sneaky, I'll say I won't ask for a roll in this. So I'll imagine you have the time to do the due diligence in checking over, especially with 4 different sets of eyes looking it over. You find nothing else of importance, really. You do find on the key, there is a number, which which probably corresponds to like a house number of some sort, essentially. An identifier of what house this key is for, where you were given lodgings, or he gave you lodgings. I don't know if you ever verbally accepted them, but you have them now because he's unconscious and can't say anything about it. You will find a map of the town, so even though he didn't give you directions because he's unconscious, you do know where the medical ward is, which is one of the larger buildings of the town, kind of nestled in the center. The idea being it's the most defensible, I suppose. You also find on the map there is the ranger. What's the word? Outpost, which is on the far side of the town next to the forest. Which, from like notes and things like that, as you look through, you get the idea. These are the people who both patrol, but also try and make sure nothing steps out of the wild and into the town. And you know who heads it because you were given the name of Luciana Morem, just as Sebastian Morem runs the medical ward. You'd also see in notations the offices of the Zygoros Mining Company, if you wish to check out that, and the council homes. So you get the idea that you might be able to track down where Dekrok might be. So this takes about 15 minutes of looking, and every now and then you check over on Kagrim, and his condition is not changed. The bleeding slowly stops, but his condition does not change at all. But he is completely stable. He just seems to be almost asleep at this point.
So I'm thinking I might want to change into this gnome because I'm a changeling, and try to go track down the elf and the dwarf and see if I can get more about this lord that nobody seems to remember.
Mm-hmm. You can certainly do so if you wish to.
Yeah, that's I'd like to go transform into this gnome. Yeah, while we're inside still, so nobody can see me do it.
Okay.
And then head over to the council homes.
I'll say you find a walking stick next to his chair, which you probably assume is his. So to add to the disguise, you grab that. Does anyone go with Baxiros?
I think I'm probably more concerned with making sure the actual gnome is at least looked at by the healer.
Okay. So Baxiros is going to find the dwarf.
I'm gonna wrap I'm gonna wrap him up instead of carrying him over my shoulder like you would like an adult. I'm gonna wrap it like in a blanket, completely like obscuring it, and carry it more like a child. So that when Bax leaves out of here as the gnome, it's not like I'm carrying the dead one and he's going off to do his thing. It's gonna look like I'm carrying a child out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of impersonating someone, you're
kidnapping.
You're just kidnapping a child. You're a gift kidnapping a child.
I mean,
in this strange town.
I'm not saying it's a good look. I'm just saying it's better than.
But it's better.
But it's not giving away the ploy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you say gift napping?
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna take this bullet. I'm the first one that's getting in trouble here.
Okay, so we have Loris and Kalinari going to the medical ward. We have Baxiros going for the dwarf and Caliban.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and go to the medical ward too, because I believe there was somebody that we wanted to talk to there, one of the survivors.
Yeah, Fyria.
Yeah.
Fryre. Fyria was the surviving miner from the initial incident.
Yeah, I definitely want to go talk to her.
And how much distance is there between this medical ward and the council home?
They are nearby. This place isn't massive by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a tiny place. You imagine at its most, this village probably houses 300 to 400 people.
So I can call for help if I need it, right?
Yeah, if you can call for help if you need it. Also, it won't take you too long to catch up.
Okay.
I will say, for what it's worth, you do note, all of you note that all your destinations, you will probably pass by the building you were given the key for on your way, if you wish to stop there. And you'll have to split up shortly past there.
I'm going to pass on that just because I don't want to be carrying either the perception of a child or the gnome that we're trying to impersonate. So I'm going to kind of make a beeline for and even make it look like it's a medical emergency involving this child so as not to seem super sketchy.
Okay.
Get help.
By all means, yeah, no, that works. Does anyone else stop, or do you all beeline to where you need to go?
I'll go with him.
Okay.
Before we split up, I will switch my mind link over to Baxiros and give him the ability to respond for the next hour, just in case, since he's splitting off from the group, if he gets in trouble.
Okay. So do you head past your new lodgings as well?
Yeah, might as well take a peek inside.
Okay, I'm just checking if all of you going back, because at this point the sun is almost completely set. So it's almost night basically at this point. So I'm just checking, do you want to go straight to your locations, or are you checking your lodgings first to deposit your gear?
Kalinari doesn't have any reason to go to the lodgings, but if the majority decides to go there, he's not going to split off.
Okay.
I think I'll pass.
All right. Loris also is, and Caliban, you're going by as well.
People before they go to sleep. So.
Right. Okay then. I think then, since we get to the point where 3 of you go one way, 1 of you goes the other way, I think that's probably a good point to take a quick 10-minute break.
Sure.
That's okay.
All right. It is 8:40 right now. We'll take a quick 10-minute break. I'm gonna go have a drink probably. This is kind of tense. And I'm creeped out. I don't like odd number of eyes. So, like I said, it's 8:40 right now. We'll take a quick 10-minute break. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Thanks to Torga on a boat for the follow, Tiny Dancer for the follow as well. We really appreciate it. Yeah, so like I said, 8:40. We'll take a 10-minute break. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Thanks to Sam and Dave for coming out tonight. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Hopefully we'll see everybody on the other side, and we'll be right back. All right. Thanks for sticking with us on the other side of the break. We are all back. My heart rate's settled a little. And also my wife asked why I don't do scary stuff when I'm DMing. So, we're doing a good job here. My non-invested wife is thoroughly creeped out. So we're back, and we will turn it back over to our terrifying Dungeon Master as we all kind of split up and head off in our ways, me looking like I kidnapped a child, and go.
Yep. We'll jump into the kidnapping attempt going on by the GIF in a minute. But first, we'll go with our impersonation and fraud crimes going on with Baxiros. So, Baxiros, you split away at this thoroughfare going down the roads. As you've all been walking and as you walk deeper into the more living area of the town, Baxiros, you can see this is definitely a half-abandoned town at this point. You can see a couple of lanterns have been lit from inside, and just like out of the corner of your eye, or if you glance through cracks and curtains and the like, you can see the iconography of the deities that was previously in the church. Is definitely been affixed in people's houses. You can see this. You can see people huddled around tables, families grabbing at one another in comfort, essentially, as best they can. Children in the center of whatever huddle there is. But also through windows that aren't shuttered and don't have lights, you can see either rooms that have been stripped bare entirely of everything, or rooms that were clearly abandoned. You can see in some houses there are half-finished meals left out still. Like the people, the inhabitants just got up and ran in a single second. So it's a very eerie feeling, and that mist that was slightly present before in the day, now as the sun entirely sets and the stars shine down upon you, the mist is about knee level at this point. Very thick and cloying, and the shadows seem thicker, deeper and darker than normal. The silence is very, very oppressive, as the only thing accompanying you is the sound of your shoes on the stone beneath you.
I guess I can still see where I'm going.
You can still see just by the faint light that is coming out of buildings or the faint moonlight.
Can I grab like a stick on the ground or whatever and cast light on it? So
You can, yes, and that definitely does illuminate something that pushes the shadows back a bit. But you can see at the edge of this light, it's almost like the shadows are resisting. Like the darkness does not want to be unveiled. It does not want to be pushed back, and is fighting back against your spell. You have your light, but even so, you feel unsettled and uncomfortable by it.
And how far away are they from me at this point?
At this point, it's about 100 yards.
And how far are the houses that I'm trying to go to?
They would be probably a couple of houses down, so not too far at all. Maybe closer to 20.
All right, I'm gonna keep going then.
Or the turning for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll keep
As
going.
you get-
I'm gonna pick up the pace and start moving a little quicker and
Yep.
wrap with my walking stick that I picked up.
Yep. As you're going, as you're moving, you feel your heart rate picking up, not just from this quicker pace, but also from this primal sense of fear. You begin to fear. You feel this innate evolutionary instinct that is screaming at you to hide, to run, or to freeze.
So
But
I
there is a
remember what
predator looming
the
above you.
real gnome told me, and that drive will keep me safe. So I think about all the coin that I'm gonna get after this, and it just motivates me to keep going because I'm
You
greedy.
call to mind the idea of wealth. And you hear a faint chuckle.
I hear a
So
faint
easily
chuckle.
bought, dear Baxiros. Well, you'll be interesting. Just in the back of your head.
Okay, I just pay it no mind, and I keep going.
Kalinari, through the psychic link, you don't pick up anything for its worth.
Oh, it doesn't work that way anyway. He would have to be trying to talk to me.
Oh yeah. I just thought I'd mention that you don't detect anything to do with this intrusion in Baxios' mind, just as a heads up, basically. Yes, Baxios, you turn the corner, and the houses are there before you. Only 2 of them are lit currently.
Okay, so I'll knock on the first one. That seems to be lit.
Okay. You hear rumbling from behind the door, and the voice of Deckrock does come through.
So I
What do you
say,
want?
What is my name as the gnome again? Sorry, I forgot.
Kagrim Taziel.
Taziel. So let me in. It's Taziel.
No, fine. You hear what definitely be sound not of locks, but of wooden planks being removed. This door was boarded up and is slowly being unboarded before it opens a crack. What are you doing out, Taziel? You know that we're not meant to.
The 3 that came to visit me were asking about Lord Caliban?
This sector.
Visector. We're Visector. So
I'm
I'm just
really asking after a name. Is this a relevant name to this place? Why
Sorry,
are they
say
asking
again?
that? Is this a relevant name to this place, Taziel? Don't tarry with nonsense.
So I would like to do insight. He seems to have no idea.
Completely confused. If you roll insight just to see if that's feigned or not, but he seems completely confused from the name.
Okay. All right, then I guess I'm gonna just at this point I'm gonna clue in that they're all seem to be brainwashed at this point. And I'll just kind of play dumb and I'll be like, I just wanted to see if it meant anything to you. And I will say, sorry for bothering you. I better get back quick. And leave.
As you say that, he squints at you for a moment. I'm sorry, do I know you?
Of course you know me. We've known each other for years. And I smack him on the head with my walking stick.
I have no idea who you are. Be gone. And he slams the door in your face. And you hear it's being boarded up.
So, okay. So I make mental note that it seems like they're actively losing their memories. And then I'll keep my light going and and
You catch your reflection in the mirror, Baxiros. You look at the reflection of an elderly gnome, shock of white hair, bald, bushy sideburns, forked beard, liver spots, and you think to yourself, why did I take this appearance? As you're thinking that, we jump back over to the others. As you're running through the streets, feigning a medical emergency, Loris, Caliban, Kalinari, you each hear, all of you now, a whispering, hissing, melodic, aberrant song, curling up around you and piercing into your minds. Can everyone make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Those are some of my favorite words.
Oh, okay. I'm okay. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, 26.
25.
25.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually, both of you get an extra +5. Oh no,
Oh,
wait,
right.
Manny, you already have it because you're also a paladin, right?
Yes.
How many paladin levels do you have?
5.
Okay, not enough then. So you both get my boost, so add a 5 to your scores.
31.
Okay.
I'll take it. 30.
Okay.
Do I have to do it or?
You're not there, so no.
Okay.
The three of you blink, and you are 5 houses down. Loris, the bundle of sheets you hold in your hand are empty. The three of you slowly come to a halt, standing in the middle of this street. The mist and darkness surrounding you all, the silence bearing down upon you all, and each of you look to one another in confusion. You were doing something. You were taking someone somewhere. You heard the song, the noise, the music, the melody, however you wish to describe it. You heard that, and then nothing. You look down at your arms, Loris, and you see those bundle of sheets. You were carrying someone. Why were you carrying someone? Who was that someone? Beneath the moonlight, beneath the starlight, as you all look around in confusion, Kalinari, you catch out of the corner of your eye 3 stars go dark and then come back. You track, your eyes dart in that direction. A bit further along, 5 stars go dark and then come back. A bit further along, 2, then they come back. A bit further along, a group of 6, and then they come back. Just blinking into darkness and coming back in a singular trail, one after another, in the direction of the forest.
Caliban, another shadow.
I saw it too. Lors, what are we doing? Why are we? Where are we even running?
I don't. I have this on me. This isn't mine. It looks like I was trying to carry something.
What?
If you retain
Where the
enough
hell is
to know
Baxiros? Sorry,
you're
what?
carrying someone. You each retain enough to know you are carrying someone somewhere for some reason. Someone you had just spoken to.
Didn't
You
you
know
have
that
somebody?
Baxiros was going to go speak to this dwarf,
Okay.
who you'd met him and Helema before. They'd been arguing, but they'd left. But then who'd you spoken to? In your minds, you each rack through this, and you come to the conclusion, no, they must have came back. They came back, and that's when they told you the information that you now know of this Lord for Sector. That must have been what happened, because nothing else makes sense to you. but you do retain enough to know you were carrying someone. But Baxiros, as I said, as we cut back to you for the moment, as you stood in confusion, at the exact same time as this all happens to everyone else, why is this the face you chose to wear? It makes no sense to you. You could have gone
Am I back with them
Halima.
now?
No, this is back over with you.
Okay.
You're just in confusion. You should have chosen Halima, surely. She's the only one you've seen interact with Decroc. Why did you choose this random face to go interrogate him about laws of the sector? And in your confusion, you turn and you start heading back.
Okay, so yeah, I will move in a very speedy pace because I'm very confused, and obviously because of the confusion, I want to get back to them as quick as possible to try to see if maybe they have some answers.
I will say with that, considering the fact that you're not too far away, you do catch up in short time. It don't take you too long at all, especially with your fear at the moment, your confusion.
So I'm going to keep the form though, because I want to ask them if they recognize it.
Yep.
And we don't, right?
You hear the running footsteps and you turn and you look at the door at this moment running up to you. You know that this is the form that Baxiros took. You know he took this form for a reason. This was someone you spoke to.
Do I remember that the dwarf did recognize me and then all of a sudden stopped in the middle of the conversation?
No, he just seemed for a moment to be caught off guard the fact that anyone was out at night, and so just told you what you wanted to know before he snapped to attention.
Okay, so I'm not aware of that. All right. Okay.
But the three of you do have, as I say, some pressing awareness that this face that you're now staring on was someone you had recently met.
So I'd like to explain that to them, that I know that whoever I am right now was of importance, but it has escaped my mind, and it seems to have escaped the other people's minds as well, because nobody seems to recognize who I am. I don't know who I am, but I know that I did it for a reason. Right?
How like when you change into somebody, does it have to be somebody you've seen recently? Is it possible that this could be somebody you changed into, weeks ago and you did it again? Or does the changeling rules imply that if you change into somebody, you've seen them recently? So if we see you,
it's just anyone that I've met. It doesn't. I don't think
changelings can shape themselves as they see fit.
Okay.
Changelings can shape themselves as they see fit. So yeah, this could have been. Yeah. As the four of you just kind of stand in confusion. You still know that you wanted to speak to Favia. I gave him a stupid name. The surviving miner. You do know that he's at the medical ward. You do still have Elena to speak to, Sebastian and Luciana, as well as
I'm going to keep the form the whole time to see if anyone recognizes me.
Mm-hmm. So what do you wish to do as you're just struck by this confusion?
At this point,
carry on?
Yeah.
Should we go back for lodging for night till the night is over?
No. If we're all confused and something's amiss here, I want to trust in something like a doctor as it is. So I think we should just kind of realize we all had a moment, and still, we're professionals. Go back about what we were doing. We were going somewhere. We still know we need to talk to at the medical center. Just gonna brush it off. That was not brush it off. We know something's weird, but just kind of carry on to the medical
forward.
center. Yeah.
Set it aside for inspection later.
Yeah.
Introspection later.
Yeah, we still got stuff to do, and like I said, I think we are professionals. So I think we just go about it. So yeah, I'm gonna I guess drop the cloth that I had. If I don't understand why I need it or what I was carrying in it, just discard it.
Oh, the cloth would have been covered in blood. The guy was bleeding everywhere. Yep. Is the cloth still covered in blood?
It is still stained in drying blood.
Whatever we're going to the medical center. There's blood on this, and I'm gonna look at myself and look at everybody else. It's not us.
There are, as you kind of drop the sheet, all of you notice two large tears in it.
Two large tears in it?
Two large tears
That
from
weren't
which
there before.
more fresh blood is staining.
I'm gonna pick it back up.
This.
And is there a way I can tell, like, a tear or a tear?
Like a stab or a slash or...
As if something very... Best way to describe it is as if something very thin pierced from the outside and it was tapered. It's the best way you would describe it. So as if something very thin pierced in, and it was such as it was, it just tore the sheet wider and wider as it pierced deeper. And it is probably around a hand width in diameter.
It's a big
And
tooth.
almost perfectly circular. If it was not for the fibers tearing in a certain manner, it would be, you imagine, perfectly circular.
Let's talk to the doctor. There's obviously something here, and wherever this blood came from, maybe whoever I was carrying got away in our confusion and is at the medical center. The blood on the tears you said was fresh?
Fresh.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna look at it and show everybody fresh blood and make a strong move to the medical center, to the medical ward.
By the way, for its worth, Kalinari, at this point, that moving shadow across the night sky has gone. You've lost sight of it at this point. But it went towards the untamed wilds, the forest, beyond the village. So as you all head towards the medical center, medical ward, again, as described for Baxiros, the darkness is extremely oppressive. Any light source you have at this moment seems to be fighting a losing battle with the darkness itself, which seems much more material and physical than normal darkness. The only sounds you really hear are of your own footfalls and of whatever animals might be within the further forest. The only thing to light your way, apart from anything natural to light your way, as say, are the moon and the stars above you. As you slowly approach the burning lantern hanging outside of the medical ward. As you draw closer, the scent of incense begins to burn at your nose. Some cloying, burning incense, which is hanging in this lantern. As you reach the door to the medical ward, it is barred shut from the inside. You cannot push it open, and you see all the windows have metal bars affixed to them. And shutters closed from the inside.
I'm gonna listen, like, ear to the door, and see if
Give me a perception check.
anything going on inside before we maybe barge in. Ugh. That's gonna be a 7.
The door is too thick to really hear through. You hear the sound of your own heartbeat in your ears.
So
I'm just gonna, we feel the darkness coming down on us, so I'm just gonna rattle on it with my still walking stick.
Okay. As you do so, you hear a voice coming from behind one of the windows to the side, I should say. What is it? What do you want?
we've been summoned here to help you.
And the gods are kind that you answered our help. But it is night, you should be inside.
We just arrived and would like to assess what's going on here, and we were told that you were somebody we should speak to, and we thought we should do it as soon as possible so that we may help you.
And also in the morning, trust me. It's for your own good. Get inside. Find shelter. The dark holds many terrors. Find light, find warmth, and we will speak in the morning. I shall not open the clinic at night. I shall not rest. I shall not test the look of my patients. I'm sorry, but get inside. Find shelter. And try and sleep.
I'm gonna look at everybody, see if everybody's kind of content with that that's what we're gonna do, or
I'm okay getting inside. Personally, I'm not liking this feeling. So
okay.
I don't even, remember my motivation for talking to him in the first place. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going with the team now. I'm like, why are we even here? Whatever, I'll let the sergeant figure it out.
Do you have shelter of your own to take? Do you have lodgings?
We are given a key by the person who told us to find you. If you insist we find lodging and safety, we'll honor your wisdom, and we will seek you out in the morning. You said seek light, seek warmth.
Find shelter, find fire, warmth, safety, comfort, whatever you can, and try and sleep. If you're new here, then the curse has not yet set in for you. Hopefully you'll be able to rest. I pray that you are able to rest. I'm sorry, I would let you in, but I shall not test the fate of my patients. I will not unbar this door till morning. I'm sorry. And may the gods watch over you and be kind to you tonight.
Kalinari, you can't cast that psychic link through the door, can you?
I would have to be able to see him, but even just a piece of him, like through a window, anything.
Yeah, I can just point to him. I don't even need to see him and use message.
Mm-hmm. You can do so if you wish to.
But I don't know what I'm trying to tell him.
I want to know what's going to happen once we leave and go seek shelter. What's his experience going to be like? And if we can jump, not having to wait till the morning to speak with him. If Kalinari, we can retire to lodging and safety like he asks. But if Kalinari and him can have a conversation, we can achieve both goals.
Okay.
No, he would have to be within line of sight, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do you say all this to him, or is this more out of character chatter right now? Just to
it's in character. I'm trying to understand how it works.
Okay.
Just to,
by now, he would probably understand what I could do anyway if we've been traveling together.
Yeah, it's more this individual behind the window being able to listen in is all I was asking. So hearing all that you said, you hear a shutter on latch, and one of the barred windows does open a crack. And if you look, you can see a male standing behind just a sliver of a face, an individual standing behind it, just a sliver of a face, but he's like peering through.
Yeah,
You have ways to have conversation without being admitted, then do it.
Yeah, sure. I'll reach out to him and with my mind and establish a mental link, and so we'll be able to speak even as we're walking away. As long as I'm still outside.
As soon as you do so, and I assume as soon as they feel it settles, you immediately see the window slam shut and locked once more. This was, you guess, kind of like he was taking a gamble in this moment. He shouts through to you all. My name is Sebastian Morem, head of this clinic. As I said, I would give you shelter if I could, but I will not unbar these doors. But come the morning, I'll speak to you, or I shall speak to your friend tonight.
Guess
I wish you
we'll
all
see
well.
him tomorrow.
Yep.
And you can hear footsteps striding away. And Kalinari, if you want to send any messages in the meantime, do so. You can do so now, obviously.
Can you ask him what's going on?
No, like I said, without like now that he's broken line of sight and by closing the shutter, I can't do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You require line of sight. Okay.
All right.
How far is? Do we know how far our lodging is from this building? Really, the question is it less than 120 feet?
It is probably a bit beyond 120
Okay,
feet.
that's kind of what I figured. Just last ditch chance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alright.
You're getting the idea. This is very paranoid individual, kind of dedicated to his patients, and so he's not able to, isn't willing to even risk anything happening to them, to the point, as he was saying, he's barring the doors and windows of the clinic, and isn't opening it for any reason beyond an extreme medical emergency. Yeah, do you all start heading back?
Yeah. Bax
Or
is
to
probably,
your lodgings, I should say?
yeah, Bax is gonna want to go, and I'm inclined to believe the doctor.
If you all head back then, you come to a two-story, very narrow, very deep building, basically. So in similar structure, Joe, the whitewashed walls, dark wood, framework, thatched roof. The door does unlock as you use the key to do so. As you step into the smell of dust, stale air, and decay. Of rot as well. A very pungent scent. As you look around the ground floor, you see nothing really out of place. Everything is where you might expect it, cutlery and crockery are in the cupboards. There's no food that's been stripped bare. It's as you go upstairs that you see something new. There are bedrolls rolled out. Multiple bedrolls that have been slept in. You can see the window is barred shut and barricaded shut as well. You can see a makeshift campfire was actually made not by the fireplace but in the middle of these bedrolls. You can see a couple of pieces of equipment that someone journeying might carry with them. A lone dagger is stuck into one of the walls.
So that was actually where I was going to kind of go with it. I was going to say I wanted to do an investigation to see if I could find any signs of any of these other 5 parties that had been here. If they had
an idea.
Here.
You get the idea. This is probably
Yeah.
where they've been staying.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That is, it's almost like a cycle.
Then there's a dagger in the wall.
Dagger in a wall next to a covered mirror. I should have mentioned that, sorry.
Okay.
There's been a cloth pulled down over the mirror. And just a dagger stuck into the wall. As you all start to set down your equipment, whatever equipment you carry, Kalinari, you realize you're carrying more than normal. It's been a thought in the back of your head of you felt heavier than normal. As you shut down your equipment, you realize, well, you've got doubles or some things. Like an extra satchel, for example.
A
Do you
little bit
look over
strange.
any of it?
Does it look like mine?
No, it's much too short. You'd guess dwarvish, halfling size, maybe gnome size, that kind of area. Like the hilt the hilt of a blade is way too short for your hand, way too small for your hand, for example. Or you'd imagine what might be a dagger to you might have been a sword to someone else of said height.
Yeah, I'll have to start going through my equipment looking for
There's
what
not-
all doesn't belong.
There's not a lot of this other stuff that you have, but just enough that it was kind of in the back of your head of you felt a bit heavier today, and you finally realised why.
Anything I find that definitely isn't mine, sort of, ask everybody else, is this yours? Have I got it by mistake?
Look, I say, I know I'm a little short, but I'm not that short.
None of you recognise it. You do find, though, engraved upon what seems to be a medallion of some sort, is a small inscription in Dwarvish. Do any of you speak it?
No, I didn't take it. No.
Do not.
Or have comprehend languages or something like that?
I do have comprehend languages, so I will cast
Okay.
comprehend.
As you cast comprehend languages, you understand what this Dwarvish script says. It is a small message, essentially. Orcas, never forget you are stronger than you think. The name means nothing to any of you.
So what was the name again?
Orcas. O-R-K-A-Z.
Okay.
Kalinari, where'd you get this?
No idea. Found it in my pack with everything else.
I'm gonna start going through my stuff now, just in case. Seeing if I picked up anything along the way.
Yeah, I would like to do the same.
You don't find anything out of the usual from what you'd expect. It's only you, Kalinari, that have this.
Yeah, I guess
So
just
I think I'm just trying because I want to keep in character, but I feel like at this point my character would start to clue into, that everyone's forgetting things here, right? Because they forgot about Lord Viscount. Calamari is not remembering where he got this thing from. Nobody can remember why I turned into this dwarf. I think we don't know what's happening, but we know that memories are disappearing, right? So I would like to, make sure I'm telling the group about what I think at this point, because I'm noticing a trend here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a fireplace? Because you said there was like a fire built in the middle of the room. Is there a fireplace?
Yeah, there's a fireplace, but it's completely dark and empty apart from bits of ash. I'd say there was like a built-up campfire in the center of this room, even though it's wood. Whoever last camped here decided it was better to be cuddled around this fire, basically. It's one of the few things in this room that catches your attention. I say there's the covered mirror, the dagger, empty fireplace, and campfire, and bedrolls, and that's really all that you find.
So everyone wants to avoid darkness, period. End of story. They'd rather burn down the house than be in the dark. That's the impression.
I'm gonna use.
I will. I'm going to pull the dagger out of the wall, and very reluctantly and slowly use it to pull the sheet over the mirror out a little bit and peek in.
Okay. You do so, and you see the edge of something has been carved into this mirror. Or scratched into this mirror. The edge of a letter. Do you pull it all the way
Edge
off?
of a letter.
Seems to be common. I would say if it was real life, I'd say it's the Latin alphabet, but yeah, it's the common alphabet. you can just see like the edge of what looks like to be the letter N.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep pulling slowly. I'm not going to rip it off. I'm just going to slowly pull it further.
As you keep pulling it, you see more and more words. Do you pull it all off, or do you try and read what you can currently see?
I've got about half of it lifted off so far.
Okay, you see, if it's half off, you see letter N, reflection. Okay, away. God. Forget.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that what I'm seeing is look away, don't forget.
It was, you saw N away. Oh no, sorry, it was, God damn it. N reflection. Okay, away, forget. That's half of it. There's the other half. It's like in 3 lines.
You know what? Forget it. I'll rip it off.
Okay. You all see what is said. What has been scratched into this mirror is, see in reflection. Do not look away. You'll forget.
See in reflection.
And you notice the mirror was dragged so that it stares directly at the boarded up window.
Do we see anything in the reflection?
There is nothing in the reflection but that window. It is almost perfectly framed in the reflection. As in, no matter what angle you're looking at, you're seeing at least something of that window. Only it was barricaded, some wooden planks. So what seems to be almost like broken chairs were stacked in front of it to keep it locked, closed shut, and blocked away.
So, in context, when I looked at my face that I had transformed into, did I forget after I looked away, or while I was looking?
You forgot before. You looked and you realized, as you think back on it, you realized that you felt confused beforehand. It was only when you looked in the reflection you realized, oh yeah, no, why did I take this form? It was something before the reflection.
Okay.
But yeah, so it seems this mirror is directly pointed at the window. But it's been blocked up.
I'm gonna reach in my pouch and pull out my thieves' tools and just extend my thieves' tools mirror, like dental mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna be doing with it, but apparently I'm gonna be needing reflections here shortly. And I'll look around at the group and I'll say, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't like any of this.
I'm gonna start a fire in the. Is it what, like a little circle of rocks, or?
Yeah, it seems like someone just went into the field and got like rocks and something to kind of make a fire pit of some sort in the middle of this room.
I'm gonna set a campfire using prestidigitation and whatever else I got to get it going to be as big as possible while still being safe. And
is anyone still staring at that mirror, by the way? As the fire
I'm still staring at the mirror. I'm trying to decide if it has anything to do with the window, and if I can look away with the window still being boarded. I haven't decided that yet.
It's in the corner of the window where it wasn't quite boarded up. As this fire is lit, you see something in the reflection.
Oh shit!
There's just a shift of movement in the very corner of the window where, because it wasn't completely perfectly done, Joe. This is like scrap wood. It was built up, so there are some gaps, and you see in one of those gaps some movement in that reflection.
Okay, so I say, guys, the window. And I'm still looking in the mirror because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do yet. But I'm telling them, go, the window.
If anyone looks at the window, there's nothing there.
I look at the mirror. I look at the window through the little hand mirror. Still nothing.
If you look at them in the mirror, you see something in the corner of the window. If you look in the hand mirror, you see something in the corner of the window. If you look at the window, you see nothing.
So he had, at this point, Caliban has now looked at the mirror and looked away.
It's only in the reflection that you're seeing whatever Baxiros is seeing.
But he has looked away.
Yeah, right?
If done so, yeah. It's more for the whole group. If you're kind of darting your eyes around, it's only in the reflection that you see something pale white, completely odd against the dark, just in the corner of that.
Is it
window.
moving or is it there? Is it just sitting there?
It seems like a constant rushing movement, but it's just there.
And
If that makes sense. It's like if you set, for lack of a better concept, better description, it's like if you stare at a single spot on a river, you see the water rushing by. But if you're staring at that single spot, you're just seeing a river. You're seeing the water still, even as it's rushing by. That's the best way I can really think to describe it.
Got it. And you said it's white. It contrasts with the night. Yes.
If I
Almost bone white,
Okay.
faint wispy white, but almost like bone white as well. If that makes sense.
while looking through the mirror and seeing this thing in the window, would I be able to, maybe probably at disadvantage, aim my gun out the window and try to take a shot at the thing I can't see? I probably can't because it's still a two-handed weapon.
Oh, that's right. It's a rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking in the mirror, I'd say you can do so. If you're looking in your hand mirror, no.
Okay.
So it's very obvious that the two of them see something that I don't.
Yeah, you see me starting to try like aim or something, but not able to. Go ahead.
I think I'll try casting see invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And see if I'm able to see anything then.
At this
See
point,
invisibility.
I'm going to move
Nothing.
to Bax. If he's staring at, if he hasn't broken eyesight from the mirror, and you're insisting that something's outside without turning, I'm going to make my way over to him to see, to get his perspective. If he's not breaking, if you're not breaking eyesight, I want to see what you see. So I'm going to have moved over to the mirror, and it's apparent
see the
to
exact
any to as long as you're in the mirror, that's all you need. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Some kind of
I'll
reflection.
kind of like
Okay.
shift spot with Manny.
Okay.
At this point, he can go where I was. Right.
Kalinari, it's in
And
the
the
mirror.
see invisibility reveals nothing.
It's in the mirror.
It's not visible.
Caliban's got his. Me and Bax see it out of here.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the mirror.
I'll say bottom left of the bottom left of the window. I can't get a shot. I'm still staring at my like little tactical mirror.
I will try my divine sense again.
Remind me what that sense is. It's fiends, celestial.
Celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Nothing.
I think that's all it detects.
There is nothing of
Yeah.
celestial, fae, fiend, or undead around you. Well,
So
actually-
you said if I shift my vision over to the
What's the
big
range?
mirror,
The range of
Wait,
what?
if you
Sorry.
Of the
of
divine
your
sense.
divine sense.
Oh, I think it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've sensed nothing then. See if it's 60 feet. Just to check. I just wanted to check. Sorry. And yeah, if you move your gaze, Caliban, to the mirror, you see it as well. It's in any reflection.
And from that, so in that way case, can I put my mirror down and like shooting away from where I'm pointing, but like try to get the best approximation I can, shoot at disadvantage, and try to just take a pot shot at
It'd
it?
be a disadvantage, and this would technically almost have like 3/4 cover, but yeah, you can take a shot.
Okay, yeah, but that's just what my first instinct is. All right, fuck this.
Yep.
All right, hold on. Let's get there. We go. There's once and
So
twice.
Does it look like it's right at outside the window, or just we can't? tell?
23.
Bit of a
is the
distance
low.
from it. 23 is the low. Let me double check.
23 and 30.
Nice. That one. Okay. Let me just double check 3/4 cover because that's not a rule I really use much.
It's +5 to its AC.
5?
+5, yeah.
Okay. Roll damage.
All right. First one is going to be 18 piercing of the magical variety.
Okay. You
And
hear in your head a pained screech, and that whisper sparks for a second before fades.
can I take my other 2 shots?
Go ahead.
The second shot will be a 30
That hits.
for another 13 piercing.
Yep.
And the final shot will be either a 15 or a 25, so 15.
That one misses.
All right, so yeah, just pop, and then last one goes a little wide.
That thing is still there.
Does anyone else have anything they're planning on?
I don't know. I'm debating just doing protection from good and evil and ripping the boards out the window.
With his miss shot, can we see more of the outside? Like, did he chip away at like the board? So maybe the exposed.
I would say
area?
so, yes.
Okay.
I'll say so. And you can see it's still there. It's the bigger gap, but it's the same thing.
And it's still there.
We can't tell
still
what
there.
it is yet.
I'd
Not
like
yet.
to drop a moonbeam on it.
Okay. Yep. And then it'd be, what's the save?
It is a DC 18 Constitution save, and if it is a shape changer, it's made at disadvantage.
Okay. It failed. Roll your damage.
Is it a shape changer?
No.
Okay. Narrowing things down, boys. Alright, it's 2d10 damage. Oh, those are d100s. Try again. Ooh. 18 radiant damage.
Again, screech in all of your heads. And that whispering song for a second pitches up so you can all hear it before it fades away.
Is it the same song that we were hearing when the guy was bleeding?
Yes, so you don't know anyone was bleeding, but this was the same song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. You've heard this song before, basically,
Okay.
or at least Caliban and Kalinari have. The two of you were told about it, and it's definitely that song. You can guess.
It's going, like, the window is there and it's going
Mhm.
past, right?
It's rushing past. Yes.
Okay.
The
Can I cast Hold Monster and try to see it?
You can do so. Yes.
Yeah.
if
I'm going to
If
roll.
it
You can
sh-
technically see it in the reflection.
Yeah, if it changes anything, the moonbeam would also fill that area with dim light.
That doesn't change anything.
And it will have to make that save every 6 seconds.
Yep. And I'm letting Baxiros do his hold monster, and then the save will go.
Oh, it's you need a wisdom saving
Oh,
throw?
right. Yes. Sorry, I forgot about that. Wisdom save. What's your DC?
18.
18. You cast the spell out, and it takes no effect.
Ooh. That's worth a try.
And then there's the save. I'm guessing that's a. What's the DC for the moonbeam?
It's a DC 18 Constitution.
Constitution. Wasn't expecting this. So nope, it fails. Roll your damage.
That is 10 radiant damage.
Isn't there a thing with
Same again.
shapeshifting too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already brought
Yeah.
that up.
Okay, sorry.
Same again. The screech and the whispering song, and it's still rushing by past this window.
Does it seem like it's getting agitated?
Nope.
Like, is it going faster or?
It's just the same.
I'm like,
What if we just took one board off? Like the one that seems to like be half broken now anyways.
To what end?
to try to identify what we're fighting against, right?
Succeeds on the next save.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh.
reload
Half damage.
and take another 3 shots then.
Oh yeah, half damage. That's right. Okay.
Yep. Since you stand around conversing, it's still ongoing.
Can I go ahead?
15,
Take another.
so that's 7.
Okay. That's it. And yep, Caliban, take your shots.
All right, still at disadvantage. That's definitely not going to hit. Oh, 19. 19.
19 misses.
Okay, second shot. 16 misses. Third shot. Come on. 19 again. So yeah.
All 3 don't take any hit. What do you wish to do? Do you wish to peel back the board?
Is this through the same the window? Is it on a different door or a different wall? So like 4 walls, the opposite side as the door, or is it the same side as the door, or left, right?
It's as you enter, the mirror is to your left, the window is to your right.
Okay.
So it's kind of mirror, door, window.
Is the door still open?
The door is still open.
Okay, so what do we know? We got a mirror that can show us a magical monster outside. The front door is still open, you're saying?
The door to the room is still open. I imagine you closed the front door. I imagine you closed that.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to be able to get inside. Just cover up the mirror, go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna mage hand the door
Just
closed.
to say.
Okay. Door just closes.
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts on while looking at the mirror and focusing on the churning
Yep,
through the
I'll allow
exposed
it.
window.
I'll allow it.
DC 20 Wisdom save, please.
You casted your set thoughts. Fails. Spell goes through.
Okay.
Because let's see, detect thoughts, surface level. If you're doing the save, you're trying to dig deeper into the mind, if I remember correctly.
I will take surface thoughts for just to start before we start digging.
The initial thought you get is, "You are seen. I see you." As you dig deeper, in that failure, you get this roiling, raging psychic presence that seems to settle, and for you, Loris, it's like a eye is staring directly back at you, as if you're being seen and picked apart. Your very soul, your very history, your very life is being observed, dissected, and built back in a single instant as you delve deeper into this unknowable mind. I see you. I have missed you, Loris. Are you ready for your purpose? Are you ready to awake?
Impulsively going to reply. The gifts I have gained as a result of your meddling are what is going to bring about your downfall. You tried to break me, but I am mentally unbreakable. Me, my companions, we will triumph. And I will show that letting me live and granting me these powers is the worst mistake you've ever made. And I'm going to scream it like I'm not even paying attention to anybody's in the room, just impulsively scream back at it.
There's silence in reply for a second, and then you, in your head, hear this rolling, hissing laugh. As if you were to imagine a snake could laugh, this would be what you would imagine it would sound like. I did not make you, and you have proved your purpose. The Lordstone is no longer needed. The anchor is no longer needed. Now the question is, will you join and reveal and tap into your true potential? I see you. I see Baxiros and his avarice. I see Caliban and his war. I see Kalinari and his loneliness. And I have Orcas, and none remember. I see you all. My master awaits.
So
And then
I
you're
heard him
almost
scream this out.
Forced out of that presence.
Oh, sorry. I heard him scream this out, and I just remember. I'm like, coin, coin, coin. I'm gonna get lots of coin, just to remind myself, get myself some motivation, because I'm pretty much scared shitless after hearing Manny scream that out.
So, after it's done, kind of shake myself loose. You all know how I came to have these powers, and whatever is outside knows about how I got them. It knows about all of us. Kalinari spoke of your loneliness. Caliban spoke of a war. It told us that it had orcas.
Orcas.
He told us that it told me that it has him. Whatever is here is truly powerful, and I don't think any of your attempts at harming it now are doing any good. We should do what the doctor says. It says we are seen. Let's light this place up, as many fires as possible, as warm as possible. And I don't want it in my head. And so I'm going to turn back towards the window, and it'll be gone from my vision.
Still, if you look at the window, it's gone. If
Okay.
you look in the reflection, it's still there.
And I'm going to look around for something to board up the gaps that we've been using.
Okay. You
I
can very easily find just leftover stuff to fill in the gaps if you desire to do so. Certainly.
and I'm not asking anybody's opinion. I'm telling it what I heard, and I'm just going to start boarding up the gaps.
Quickly before he does that, I'd like to do an Arcana to see if it's like a magical being or if it's some kind of a spiritual being.
Yeah, roll me Arcana.
14 plus 6, 20.
With everything you've experienced so far, and everything you've heard tell from the rest of your group, I'm going to say, with a 20, you get an idea that this is a thing, an entity, which its very presence is almost being rejected by the plane that you all reside upon. It's so aberrant, so strange, so unnatural. It is almost fighting to exist on the material plane. And as such, you can only see it in reflections. It is something that is there and yet not at the same time. Almost as if it's half in the far realm and half in the material plane at any singular given moment. And you cannot see with your bare eyes. But in reflection, well, that's not your eyes, that's quote unquote seeing it. As you board up the final block in the window, Lois, you pause. You can feel your heart rate beating, and yet the particulars of it slowly fade away. Baxiros, Caliban, Kalinari, you also slowly fade away of that rushing white thing outside. You know something was outside. You know, you know Lois screamed at whatever this thing was, but you forget exactly what you saw. And as you all look back over to the mirror, you see the script again. Do not look away, you'll forget. And you have the feeling you've just forgotten something.
I put my hand against my barrel. Is it hot?
You know you fired it. You know you fired it at something, and it is indeed hot.
Pull out my little pocket knife. I'll count my bullets and scratch in the side of my rifle how many bullets I've fired so I can keep track.
As you're standing there, all of you, your heart rate slightly raised. You all realize you felt this before. As you're approaching the town, as you're running through the town, indeed, this is a feeling you felt before, this exhilarating fear, this slight sense of loss, and this idea that a predator was just staring down upon you, and that you've forgotten something. You felt it earlier today. Twice, in fact, for all of you but Baxiros. When you were running on the road, and when you were running in the city from something. When you did not have a defensive fortification, such as a room to hide within. And with the fear pressing down upon you, imagine you try and get a fire started. Yes?
Yeah.
As you light the fire, that warmth and heat does do something to brush away the chill that has settled in your bones and in your very soul. Yeah, that idea that you would just prey, staring down and confronting a predator does not leave. Just to check something, Manny, just out to character. How long do we have to go?
It's
a couple
up,
more beats I might want to hit.
it's up to you. If you have a couple more, go for it.
Okay, I'll push on a little bit more if that's okay then. Because this would be a point to end if we needed to, but if we go a bit further, yeah, that'd be best.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, man.
As you settle down to try and find some slumber after what you just went through, do you choose to take watches, or do you all just try and get some sleep?
I'm definitely gonna go ahead and just take watch because let me double check. I don't think I sleep.
As an elf, you need the 4-hour trance, otherwise, no.
Yeah, but I can see things. Right?
So
I'd
just
say
out
so,
of
yeah.
character for a sec. He said he recognizes me. I'm still in that gnome form, so he knows that it's me, even though I'm.
Okay. I was gonna say used you by name. I'm kind of used to you just being different people. So you Baxiros, not the gnome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it definitely referred to you Baxiros by name.
Okay. It's
I will
sees
say-
through my nonsense.
As you all rest, I need everyone to make me a... check the roll, because I can't quite remember. I need an intelligence saving throw, please, from everyone.
Oh no.
What my plus is
Is this while we're sleeping?
Yes. This is while you're sleeping.
19.
Right, 19 for Caliban,
14.
14
13.
for Lois, 13 for Kalinari, and Baxiros,
12.
12. Okay. each of you in your slumber are afflicted with terrible nightmares.
Point of order. Kalishtar don't
Good.
dream.
I know. You still
Okay.
get your nightmares. This is something unnatural pressing upon your mind. You, Loris, you dream of that torment you suffered when you were captured by whatever it was that captured you. That pain that was not just physical but mental is afflicting you once more. And when you awake, you have a point of exhaustion. You, Baxiros, you dream of being nothing, of being no one, ignored by all that pass you by, destitute. I think that's the word. Without any wealth to your name, without any power, without any meaning. You are just no one in a world of people. And this strikes you to your soul. You awake with a point of exhaustion. Caliban, you dream of war, of blood, of blades singing, of rifle and gun smoke filling the air. You dream of those you've lost, the horrors you saw. However, you managed to push through enough your innate sense of self, rejecting these nightmares, and you awake fully rested from your trance. Kalinari, you dream, and in this dream you are separate from that spirit that usually ties to you as a Kalishar. You are by yourself. You are bound and tethered, held in place as all those you care for are slowly injured, bit by bit, their blood seeping into your own flesh, as you are helpless to do anything to help. You take a point of exhaustion when you wake. And as the morning does come, eventually, as it always does, fighting back the terror, the mist and the shadows, you all realize now what these people have been suffering through for so many months. As the morning greets you, what do you all wish to do?
First thing I'll do is look in the mirror.
It's complete. The window is completely boarded up, so you see nothing but the
Oh, yeah,
reflection
so-
and that script.
I'll check my rifle. Are there any
No more
more?
bullets fired.
I'd like to break the mirror. Not like smash it completely, but I want to like just break off a corner.
Take a shard. Yeah, you can do so easily.
Yeah, just so I can carry it around and look through it.
Yep.
Right?
You do so.
I'm gonna pick one up as well. Did anybody else dream last night? I often have nightmares of my abduction. It's just this reminds me of that, and I want to make sure everybody's okay. I didn't get my full night's sleep, and I can tell, and I'm used to the mental torture at night.
Yeah, just all the same old shit I usually see.
Nari was not with me last night.
Wait, you had a dream too? You?
We look. Oh yeah.
I've never experienced the like before.
Are you okay?
It's as if to not have Nari there, she's part of me. It doesn't. Such a thing is unheard of to my kind.
Whatever's afflicting us, whatever's afflicting this place, it's got a lot more. If it can afflict your connection like that, it's got a lot more to it than anything I've ever heard of. I don't know if this is worth this kind of risk.
We can't let these people suffer. If this what's happened to us after one night, imagine what it's like to live here. All the anguish and the absence of mind of these people. A quick and true death is way more merciful. We can't leave them to this. We can't leave them to this fate. Not everybody is going to be blessed like I was with the powers at the end. And to see a city or a town driven mad by something seeming simply just to want to torture them, I can't. I can't, Caliban. We have to do this.
These people are fools. Why haven't they left? This is our home. Well, your home is... Look at your home. You need to find a new home.
I agree. We should take
Why can't
them
we just
from
round
this
up
place.
survivors and just set this whole place on fire?
Kalinari, what did you say then?
I agree. We should take them from this place. Our greatest
Would you say
efforts
that-
did nothing to it.
As you say that, you feel a spike pierce your mind. Fear floods you. You cannot leave. You must stay. This is your place now. This is your home. Now, how can you leave? Any thought you had of leaving is gone.
I
You
think
feel at home.
Manny had the right of it. We are professionals. I think we all know this path only has one place, and we got to go to those mines.
We all
Where it all
hear the
started.
Kalinari. Your connection with your spirit, however, does give you some resilience to that effect. You can recognize that your mental state has changed. That you were wanting to go and now you want to stay. You can recognize that
Loris,
change
you're right.
took place.
I look confused. Loris, you're absolutely right. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Whatever this thing is, it's affecting all of them and all of us. We must find a solution or get out, and we must do it today.
Before dark,
Um,
I worry what happens to us a second and a third night. At what point are we not us able to help and potentially liabilities to these people?
Kalinari, you are a Watcher Paladin, right?
No, that's Manny.
Yeah.
I'm Ancients.
Ancients. Okay, so I was trying to remember who it was. I knew so many paladins and sorcerers in this group. Lorison, can you roll me I'll say Arcana, with your experience as a Watcher Paladin,
Not too bad.
and this with advantage. You have advantage on this actually. This is something that was said to you.
It's going to be a 19 Arcana, right? 19.
Yep. Okay. You were with the discussion going on. Something clicks into your mind. You recalled last night the Archstone, the tether, that your purpose was fulfilled for whatever it was, and the effect that's having on these people, and the fact that it's affecting in such a manner, such dreams, and even refusing thoughts of leaving from truly manifesting. It kind of slots together in your mind that whatever this thing is not fully present just yet. It has driven a spike between the planes, using you and maybe many others, for you are aware, or a physical beacon of some sort, to drag and form a connection. However, considering the slow creep of this effect, it is obviously not yet fully manifested itself from whatever realm of madness it comes from. But obviously it's going to keep trying to do so. And for that, it needs more anchors and energy, power of some sort. It calls to mind for you now the drained look to everyone, the slightly malnourished look everyone has in this village, the fact they are so stubborn not to leave. They are essentially, to your mind, psychic food sources at this point. Their very sense of self is slowly drained to fuel whatever foul ritual is dragging this thing into this realm. This is merely the anchor point and the generator, as it were. There is still time yet to sever the connection.
Can I look at everybody else and see if, even in this short period of time, there's been a physical change?
But everyone but Caliban, who isn't suffering a point of exhaustion, you can definitely see some, almost like there's a shadow behind the eyes. Not yet that dazed state or anything like that, not yet retreating, but it's almost as if there's actually something in the eye itself. If you choose to bring your mirror up and look at your own eye, you swear for a second you see an endless cosmos within your pupil.
And when I see everybody else, I can tell it's not just he's tired. It's something.
There is something.
Okay.
Yes. There is something in the eyes.
I'm gonna walk over without alerting anybody, kind of slide in next to Bax and put the mirror out and see if the
you can see this effect even without the mirror.
Okay.
As you get closer, you can see it. There's this odd glint, this kind of purplish, bluish, and white dots within the pupil. It's not always there, but every now and then you see this flicker.
I'm gonna
as if staring at the night sky without any lights to occlude it.
not subtly.
As if staring out the galaxy itself.
I'm gonna kind of look in everybody's eye until I'm sure that I've seen it. So I'm gonna see it in Bax and Kalinari, but not Caliban.
Not Caliban, no.
Caliban, you said you slept fine?
I mean, as fine as I ever do.
Something's different
Why?
about you. As part
Something's
of
changed?
something hasn't changed with you as it has with us. I'm gonna get close to him and see if I can point in my eye. Look, do you see it?
You see it as well. You see it, Caliban.
Look at the others in
staring
their
as if-
eyes.
Yep. As said, it's as if staring at the perfect night sky without any light to occlude it. Just shifting clouds of nebulas, of starlight, of galaxies swirling past within the very depths of the iris itself. Within the pupil itself.
It needs us. It needs you more. It hasn't touched you yet. I don't know what happens to us now, but I do know that right now you may be the only safe one here that it hasn't invaded and it might not be using.
Well, from here on out, the three of you walk ahead of me.
Fine.
Smart move. keep your eye on us.
What's our play here? Should we try to gather the survivors and set out after this thing? Should we try to hunker down and wait for it to come find us? Should we try to meet it out on the outskirts of town at high noon.
There was.
If we know that it's using the people's food, I think that we should get the people out of here. At least as many as we can. To
As soon
limit
as you say that, Baxiros, as soon as you say that, there's a jolt in your mind. No, they cannot leave. This is their home. You cannot make them leave. This is your home as well now. You must stay as well. You cannot make them leave. There's like this mental blockage you hit immediately.
And as
and I overcome this with the desire. Like, remember at the beginning they were like, "Oh, people with drive can last the longest." Can I drive myself with the thought of coin?
Speak kind of to the meta of this. Your drive is the only thing that's letting you realize this block in the first place.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Without it, you would just have naturally changed your mind, essentially.
I imagine it looks like a light comes on right after we finish this talking, and in the that moment of realization from we need to get out of here to wait, we can't go, in the same way that Caliban had. I'm gonna point to it and be like, see that right there.
Did I hear music when it happened?
We can't leave. So
No music.
Whatever we're doing, we have to do it here. And we made an appointment to go see the doctor. It's morning now. We need to talk to him before we decide to do anything. We're not going to be able to leave. We're not going to be able to shoot it through a window reflecting out of a mirror. Whatever this is bigger and more sinister than bandits or orcs. Its mind is conquest, not enrichment or petty squabbles.
Yeah. I think you're right. We should go see the doctor. He may have more information for us, but then I think we need to get everybody in town into one spot so that we can protect them all at once.
I don't know that I agree.
Mind that we should see the doctor and then go to the mines where this started.
Yeah, let's go to the doctor, see what he says, and we'll ask him what he thinks. If anything, we can hole everybody up in the church. It seemed pretty secure. And we go do whatever it is that must be done.
I don't know that we should speak to the doctor. I don't know what he could tell us. And even if he does tell us something, I don't know that we could trust it. If he's been here for this long, being affected like we have, anything that he knows could be a falsehood caused by this influence.
Oh, I don't think we're going to talk to the doctor. I just think that it expects us to go there, and I want to spring its trap.
I think there has to be a reason that its influence, it comes after us in the middle of the night. I think Baxiros is right. We should take the fight to it. We should go to that mine and find it now while it's weakest.
Well, if we're going to do it, yeah, during the day.
It did mention something about a stone when it spoke to me. Perhaps the stone is from the mine. If the worst of this happens at night, then I think we can assume the people are safe as they're going to be, but we should probably be back by dark at all costs. If it's dangerous in a building in the dark, I can't imagine what it's like in a mine after dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we know at this point? Do we know how far of a travel the mines are, or do we have a map of anything?
We did find a map.
You don't know. You found the map of the town, but not of the actual mine itself. You know it's somewhere into the west, into the Untamed Wilds.
This is a mining town. I'm
to...
sure it's whatever the most used road is the one to and from the mine.
This is This is a farming town mainly. It's positioned on the very edge of settled lands, means it's often
Right.
used as a stop point for mining excursions.
Okay.
So this mining is recent.
But there's
It
nothing
started
else
only
going on in the
5 months.
direction of the mine, right? Like it's just there's the town,
No.
and then there's the mine, and then there's nothingness.
So
So
any travel, broken brush, like road.
Yep.
It's
would
all
lead-
going to be towards the mine.
It would be difficult, but you would be able to try and find your path if you wanted to.
So you said the ranger post is on the way to that part. So I think we should stop at the
Yes.
ranger post and see if we can get a map or some kind of directions on the way out of town.
I'm going to come back to the same reason we don't know. We don't know anything. Anything they could tell us, they could be made to forget in the same way. No, I don't know if I could put it that way. We don't know that they're trustworthy in the same reason why we don't know the doctor's trustworthy. Kalinari's right. Maybe they could be helpful. We can see as we approach them. I'm gonna tend to agree with Kalinari that anybody we talk to, we need to be slightly at least skeptical of if whatever's here keeps everybody here. It's gonna do what it can to maintain this situation that it has us in and these people. Let's look for a map. Let's not ask anybody.
Yeah, so let's go to the ranger post and we'll try to steal one.
Okay.
Okay then.
Ranger
As
station.
you all as you gather your stuff, get yourself ready.
I'm still the gnome. Keep this in mind, right? Oh,
Fair enough.
yeah. Oh wait, then nobody recognizes the gnome, right?
Nope, no one recognizes.
But I remember the
As
dwarf.
you remember the dwarf.
I turned into the dwarf. On the way.
Okay, you turn into council member Decroc Dynia. Dylan, rather, whatever. My notes, I can't read my own handwriting. As you head out, there are a few people around, but they all have that gaunt, distant look once more. Just going about their routes. You see Colin, who is the guy you first spoke to. That gratefulness, that hope has faded already after a single night, it seems. And though he does light up a little bit when he sees you, he almost immediately goes back into that drawn look and just goes about walking his patrols once more. As you cut through the town, you, Baxiros, in the form of Decroc, do get a couple of nods of respect here and there. But by and large, people are just going around with their heads down, just trying to go about their business, or just untethered from the world and just not paying attention. The mist is still present, even in this morning. That unnatural mist is still swirling around, and is this time it's not knee height as it was last night, but it is about to calf. The sounds of the forest are silent. As you make your way towards where you know the ranger outpost to be. For three of you, you feel the weight of your sleepless night, or your unrestful night weighing down upon you. As you make your way to go and try and steal a map. So what would be your plan for that?
Well, I look like a council member, so I'm gonna walk in like I own the place.
Okay.
And use and deceive them and pretend that I am him, and just say where are the maps?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say make me a deception check.
Sure.
With advantage, because I mean you are looking like Decroc and Owens aren't paying too much attention.
And 13 is I got plus 10 on that, so I got 27.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's easy. Just people get out your way. They're not really looking to find the lie. They're not really paying too much attention, as I said. So you are quickly shown to where the maps are. You can easily find one marked with the mine. There's not many maps. There are only a couple. It's more like patrol routes and things like that. So the mining outpost is quite clearly labeled. If you want, you can easily take it.
Yeah, I would like to take the map, and I will walk back out and meet my friends.
Yep.
Can we tell how far it is? Like, it's a half day, an hour?
I'd guess 2 hours.
2 hours each way.
It looks like you need to follow the river. There's a nearby river, only just beyond the tree line, essentially, from the map. You follow that till you come to what seems to be a natural pooling, and the mining camp will be shortly past that. Not hard to find at all, if you know the route.
So I show them and say, here we go. What's the plan, boys?
I mean, we've got limited daylight. Should make haste.
Yeah, let's do it.
I imagine you're moving stealthily, or you're trying to move at a fast pace.
Are there horses at the ranger camp for us to take?
How far is it?
2 hours.
2
2
hours.
hours. I don't know what distance that would be, but yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah,
You guess
yeah,
it would be 2 hours. There are no
Pat
horses,
and
though, unfortunately.
Pat and Hoof will take us.
If we can judge that it's a respectable distance, I think we should take, the further out we are, move with, kind of a good pace. And then as best we can by the map, as we get closer, start to kind of be a little more aware. I don't know if staying on the road, getting off the road is a good idea.
I don't know that stealth would help us anyway.
Probably true.
There is no road. It's a natural warm path, basically.
Okay.
That's why the battle's made to follow the river, for the fact that you just follow the bank of the river, then it's a natural carved route. You would have to go through some tree line at the very end, but otherwise there's no actual path, but it's following the natural grooves of nature, if you will.
I mean, I will be the first to admit I am not stealthy, at all.
Okay.
Well, and with whatever it's done to us in the night, it's likely it will know we're coming, regardless of what we attempt to do to obfuscate that fact.
True. So
I would like to go fast enough that we're moving at a good pace, but not too fast. Like how you have that rush ability where you're not aware of your surroundings. Because we did come to this town with a shadow with multiple eyes staring at us through the bushes. So I still want to be aware of what's going on in the tree lines as I'm moving. Right?
In that case, I'll say takes about an hour 45 then at that point to get to that pool. If you're not rushing, it'll be that time. You're not going stealthily, so it won't take any longer. So if everyone who would be keeping an eye out, if you make me a perception check, please. Disadvantage for everyone but Caliban because of your exhaustion.
Yeah.
18.
7.
22.
Okay.
I almost rolled a d12. Oh no.
Who are you, me?
I was gonna say 7.
Okay. You see nothing around you as you advance deeper and deeper into this forest. It's unnaturally dark and unnaturally quiet. The sounds of nature have halted entirely at this point. It's as if the entire world right now is balancing on the edge of a blade, waiting to see what comes of your journey. Everything frozen in a moment of tension and anticipation. For the journey to this pool, you experience no difficulties and you see nothing around you. No animals, no sounds, nothingness but the deep forest itself. The very air itself around you tastes unnatural. You imagine this might be a remnant of whatever calamity turned this place uninhabitable. Whatever that means, for no records have actually described why it is uninhabitable. As you reach the pool, let me change the map. Oh, I need to get some characters onto the screen.
Come on, old laptop. You can do it.
Let me know when you can all see it.
Mine just got to the icons.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I can see it on my end.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Boom. It is up on stream.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
I see it.
You see this pool as set before you, and you see above a ridge, stood almost as if waiting for you, this almost swine-looking creature. Multiple red eyes blinking open and then closed on various different points, shifting all over its body. Long, blood-stained tusks curling up from its snout. Tendrils whipping out of its body, fleshy pink and pitch black as if absorbing the very light itself. And these, similar to the eyes, form and then displace constantly. This thing looks entirely unnatural and is staring at you all with bright red eyes. Its fur seems to shimmer between black and brown, a shadow and a physical form, and just stares at you all as you break out of that tree line.
And how far is it?
It is, I think there's a measure tool.
About
in
70 feet.
this. Yeah, 70 feet or so. It just looks at you all. And does anyone here speak deep speech?
Deep speech.
Nope.
I think it's deep speech.
You'd probably know if you did. It's not one that's like a.
Yeah,
this just comes with some
I
subclass.
took
Yeah.
a funny one.
You gotta pick
I can't
that one.
remember where the hell is it? Spells? I took goblin and something weird.
No. So, okay, no.
You
no
took
one deep
Draconic.
speech then?
Oh, draconic. Okay, my goblin. How do I see? Where is that again?
Are you on D&D Beyond?
Yeah,
Bottom left.
corner.
racial traits. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
All right, so we're getting the sense that these eyes are the same ones we saw when we came into the town, correct?
Yes, they are very similar indeed. Caliban, do you not have deep speech? I'm just looking on your character sheet.
Oh shit, you're right. I do. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I don't even. Oh fucking A, because Eldritch Horrors. I was like, all right, I need to pick one Eldritch language.
Yeah. I had a feeling I knew.
I
Someone
didn't even
had
look
it.
because I was like, I would have never picked out deep speech.
Yeah, I knew someone had it. I just wasn't sure who.
Nobody.
Yeah,
ever
that's my
knows.
bad. I just didn't even look because I was like, no, I would have taken Elvish and maybe Undercommon, but I skipped
The
Undercommon.
advantage.
So yeah.
The advantage, I suppose, is the DM sneaking through your character sheets beforehand. Anyway, you Caliban then hear, in a very disjointed voice, in deep speech, tributes for the master, tributes, flesh to tone, to rend, to tear, tributes to see. Restore it. And as kind of the finale to this part one, can everyone please roll me initiative?
Yes.
All right. Oops. No, not that one.
Am I +5?
22.
And good news for those of us exhausted, it's with disadvantage.
Mhm.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Ooh, I got the exact same thing.
God. Okay.
14.
Jesus, I need to. This piece is 20. Give me a second, and I'll go through you one by one. So,
I'm gonna blast the shit out of this thing.
25.
okay then, Baxiros.
Yeah.
What did you get? Sorry,
14.
14. Caliban.
25.
Kalinari
8.
and Lois.
18.
18. Nice. Okay. The Rift Beast goes first. You all watch as it just stares at you. Its form seems to flicker and shift for a moment. Goes completely pitch black like a shadow, and that shadow just dissolves into nothingness. And you watch as it vanishes before your eyes. Which one? I went that. So one, two, three. There, get used to this. Okay. That's the end of its turn. Lois.
Shit.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
Caliban.
I guess I'm gonna take my 3 shots at the spot where it was.
No.
Alright. So, but that's definitely gonna miss because it's a 3 first. So
Mhm.
16 with disadvantage.
Misses.
17 with disadvantage.
Misses.
It's gonna be another 16. Yeah, 16 again.
Misses, unfortunately.
All right. And then I will. Shit, let me find the map again. I've got so many tabs open. I'll try to find some cover. So I'll run to the trees over here. See, I got 35 feet of movement. So yeah, I'll run over to this tree.
Okay.
And just kind of try to get some cover behind it.
Okay then. Is that your turn?
But yeah, I'm sorry, that's it.
Yep. End of your turn. You each hear a howl, unnatural, coming from the ridge to your right, as similar creature appears behind you. This one, more of, despite using the same token, more of a bear than a bull in form. It just looms above you all, and let me pull up my sheet again. Yes. Okay.
So did
Rose
it
its head
appear out of the
and-
shadows as well, or was it just there and we didn't see it?
It formed from shadow as you hear this deep bellow, basically, and it is going to lunge down at. God, I need to... Sorry, give me a second. Trying to recognize character by token. I should have thought to do that beforehand. Kalinari, you are. Yes, it's going to lunge down towards you. Oh, I forgot you can do names. Sorry, I'm getting used to Albert Radio. My bad.
So are we. Well, I am.
Yes, it is going to lunge down towards you, Kalinari, and make its attacks.
Mhm.
So I would imagine a 10 misses,
It does.
9 misses,
Yep.
and a 12 misses.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking useless. That's his turn. Lovis,
Alright.
you're up. Because that was useless. So this thing has just appeared before you all. What does our Gith choose to do?
I'm gonna slide across the river, and
Okay.
I'm gonna light it up with a moonbeam, just to protect at least the spot next to my friend Kalinari. DC 20 Constitution save, please.
That's on their turn, isn't it? Start of their turn, I believe. Unless I'm wrong.
Creature enters the spell for the first time or starts its turn there. Okay.
So I'll keep that in mind for when it comes to its turn.
Okay.
Do you do anything else?
No, I got a little movement, cleared some space, knocked down a moonbeam. I'm good.
Okay. You each hear a shambling screech coming from the waters itself.
Oh shit.
In patches, they seem to suddenly freeze over, and then from the ice itself, as if the ice was a portal of some sort, a long black limb pierces through, followed by another and another, as the carrion hunters emerge.
Shit.
Oh shit, that grew in size. Didn't move it, that grew in size. Hold on. I'm getting used to this dirty thing. The pair move out. You see what looks to be almost a shadowy person, writhing black, spinning through its form, essentially. Where this deep shadow does not exist, you see rotting and decaying flesh. A body long since dead, now turned and risen again. And they're going to swarm on you, Lois, since you are next to the water's edge, and make their attacks. First attack is an advantage because pack tactics. I imagine a 13 misses.
It does.
Yep. Jesus fuck. Okay, that misses. That misses as well. Okay, so the first one completely missed. The second one, God, can I roll higher than a 10, please? Nope. Nope. Okay, finally. I finally got higher than a 10.
Congrats. I'm
21.
happy for you.
21 to hit.
Yes.
Alright, 21. That's just the limb. So you take 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And a DC 13 strength save, please. Goddamn dice. Get rid of that dice.
17 on the save.
Okay, yeah, you managed to stay standing. That's the hunter's turn. Baxiros, you're up.
Okay, so I would like to. Sorry, give me one. I'd like to help out my friend Morris. He's getting double team there, so I'm going to Eldritch Blast. I'm going to stay where I am, but I'm going to Eldritch Blast the one in the water. So that would be 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Okay. For 15 times 3, so 45 damage.
Well, you have to roll 3 of the attacks to
Oh,
see
I
if
have
all
to roll
hit.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
individual
each-
attacks, yes.
Each
Okay.
one is 1d10 plus 5, I think, for you, and each one's its own attack.
9 and
9 misses.
8. No. Oh, I have to roll the hit each time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Each
Sorry.
one is its individual blast.
Okay, so
No,
15
it's
on the
not.
first one, 13 to hit.
13 misses, just goes wide, hits the water. Actually hits where they climbed
20.
out and just vanishes through it. And 20 hits as well,
22.
so roll your damage.
Okay.
So you got 15 damage and
15 and 9. So 24.
24. Okay. You blast it apart entirely.
Nice.
This form seems to flicker, shake, and
I
just
kind of do
explodes into shadow.
a smoking gun, and I wink at Morris.
Thanks, buddy. I'm going to dodge out of the way.
And Lois, as it died, you heard a bone-chilling shriek within your head. As whatever entity this was fades away. It's Kalinari.
So this big creature in front of me, does it look the same as the one we saw when we first got here?
The big creature does, yes. Although
Oh.
slightly different shape, but kind of similar in form. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Basically,
with-
because this one is more bear-like. The first one you saw was more boar-like. So you imagine it's of the same. Probably what you first saw was of the same species,
Mhm.
but different shape. If that makes sense.
All right. With my bonus action, I will cast Branding Smite,
Nice. Nice.
and then I will make 2 weapon attacks against the big one in front of me.
Go ahead, make your attacks.
First one is a 16.
16 hits.
Okay. So that is going to be 9 magic slashing plus the branding smite, which is 5 radiant.
Okay.
And it's prevented. It glows and can't become invisible.
Okay. Make me a dexterity saving throw, please. As in this strike, this unnatural ichor of this creature is splashed upon you.
17.
You manage to dodge out of the way, and as it lands on the grass, you see the grass kind of burn and shrivel away, rotting and decaying immediately.
All right, and then I'll make my second
Go ahead.
attack. And that's a 14.
That hits, but the attack does no damage, just below its AC. So it's impossible to hit, but the hide was a bit too tough.
Let's see here. We've all managed to get a little spread out, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
2 paladins and nobody's in an aura. Nice job, guys.
So I will.
I'm not complaining.
I will back up a bit to try and, protect my allies.
Makes sense. Okay. Is that your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Top of the round, the first 5th beast does nothing. So, Caliban.
All right. I'm looking at this big boy that just splashed some sort of Icarus acid, and I'm going to go ahead and make him my target. I am going to raise my rifle, and I am going to go ahead and use my fighting spirit to gain advantage on all of these attacks. And with elven accuracy, I gain triple advantage.
I don't think triple advantage quite works, but go ahead.
So elven accuracy is you can re-roll. You roll with it when you roll with advantage. You can re-roll one of them. So it's effectively triple advantage.
Yes. I completely forgot about that. But yes, go ahead.
So the first one is going to be. That's 3. The high one was 30.
Yeah, that hits.
That'll be 19 damage.
Okay, give me a second. Maths. Okay.
Second one, 14 or 27, 16 or oh god, so close to a crit. So 27 hits.
That definitely hits.
15 damage.
Okay.
Third attack. Well, I'm actually not rolling really great, but that'll be 22.
That hits as well.
All right, so that will be a 15 points of damage for my third attack. How does it look?
Very close to death.
I'm gonna go ahead and no, that'll end my turn.
A stiff wind could kill it. Let's put it that way.
So I'll as a bonus action, I'll cast Expeditious Retreat, so that I can dash as a bonus action.
Okay. And
That'll
for
end my
turn.
turn.
It's now the creature's turn. Yeah, the one you just shot, the one that looks near dead, is going to look around. And Caliban, you're going to hear it shout out in deep speech of, "Master must learn, master must watch, rend, tear, tell." It is then going to lower its head and charge at Baxiros. Oh, sorry. Moonbeam first.
Come on, stiff
What
wind.
have we got? Moonbeam. Yep, nope. It succeeded, but it don't matter what you roll, you're going to kill it. It's on 1 hit point. Your half damage is going to kill it. So, boom. It tells out that shout, goes to charge, and the divine radiance just tears apart its aberrant form into nothing more than bloody, fleshy chunks of meat and shadow, and the meat itself slowly fades into mist as well, like a black, thick mist. However, as it dies, could everyone please wait? Yep. Everyone, make me a charisma saving throw, please. As each of you are immediately assaulted with a sense of bone-chilling terror.
Charisma saving throw?
Charisma saving throw.
5.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. I'm good with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got 26. I got plus 11 on that.
Wait,
Nice.
do I get something from Rez? Oh no, I already get it. So.
Oh, and I get plus 5 from.
Oh, yeah, so 10.
Yeah, so I got 31.
24.
Okay.
I got an 18, which is pretty impressive for rolling a 3.
Caliban, I'm sorry, you're the only one that fails this, as the death throes of the Rift Beast tear across this land, and all the fear it has feasted upon in its life assaults your mind in a singular moment. You are rendered unconscious for the next minute.
Oh shit!
I need a nap anyway.
Dude, whatever
Luckily,
you
there's
saw,
only one creature left to fight.
Whatever you saw, your brain was like, nope.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if it'd be the first one. Yes, that's its turn because it got no turn. So, Lois.
All right.
The only thing that seems to be standing is before you.
This is going to be a shout out to my boy Kalinari. I'm going to spin around. I'm going to give it the good old glaive in a very violent downward swipe. That's going to be a 28 to hit.
Yes, that hits quite easily.
Just checking. And 1d10 plus 6. Ah, man, are you kidding me? 7 damage, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to boop it on the snoot, like my boy would want me to.
The screaming aberrant creature or shadow is booped on the snoot.
It's going to be an 18 to hit second time, or with the boop.
That'll hit.
Okay. And then I'm going to boop it for 2 damage.
Okay.
Wait, that should be impossible.
Wait, what is it? 1d4 plus what?
Plus your whatever your attack modifier is.
5.
So, yeah, so 2 plus 5.
Oh, 8. 6. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so 8 boop damage.
8
Boop damage.
It is now its turn, and it did not like having its snoot booped. It is going to attack back
No one ever
at
does.
you, Lois. Come on, let's see if it can roll high this time. 16 to hit.
It does not, but I'm happy you're getting there.
There we go, 24.
Yes. All right, shut up.
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a strength saving throw.
Got you on the strength. I scourge. Oh no, I did not do 88 damage. And then
Okay.
a strength saving throw. Oh no, that's a 7.
Okay, you are knocked prone as this creature just in a flurry throws itself at you.
Manny, did you say saving throw?
I did.
I think you mean a 12, good buddy.
Oh.
Oh, it still fails.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, thanks. Oh wait, that's still not that great.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like slowly
unfortunately.
slow-mo pause and kind of give you the point for the thanks for the help, but I'm still gonna fall.
Thanks for nothing.
Funk.
Luckily, I rolled a 2 on that, but now I get to re-roll it because it has advantage because you're prone. And that's much better. 22 to hit.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. Yes.
Sorry.
How does that?
You booped it on the snoot. 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
And you can't be super prone, so
Super prone.
I'm inverted. I'm like head down, feet in the air.
Go 180. But yes, that's its turn. So Baxiros, you're up.
So Eldritch Blast it. 14 to hit.
14. I think that hits. Let me double check. Yes, 14 hits.
And 15 damage.
It's dead.
It's dead.
It goes to veer up to strike down at Lois, and you manage to catch it in the throat with an Eldritch Blast. And the Eldritch Blast just detonates within its chest and just sends it scattering into nothing.
All right, another smoking gun.
Lois, you again hear the bone-chilling screech of this thing's death throes in your head, as whatever entity it is protests being removed from life.
The protest is noted.
Yeah. Not
I acknowledge your concerns.
1-star Yelp review.
Combat.
Got it.
The combat comes to an end there. And actually we have the perfect thing to finish on as well. Because, Caliban, your mind is sent into a void of terror. What you see you cannot even comprehend with your mortal mind. You see shapes that do not exist, thoughts that cannot actually be thought, colours that do not exist within the spectrum. You see the twisting madness of the far realm itself. You fear and taste the fear. You feel and taste the fear, there we go, that this rift beast had feasted upon throughout all its life. Though its intelligence was limited, you sense its devotion to its master, that it was dedicated to throw its life away so that intelligence could be gathered. But as your mind spirals deeper and deeper down into madness, even as your conscience begins to return, I need you to roll me a D100, please.
D100?
Yes, please.
All right. Oh. 69.
Nice.
69.
Nice.
Let me double check something.
Like, toads and approps dice. Come on now.
Roll me a D10, please.
A D10.
Oh man, I was honestly hoping it was gonna be something stupid like a D1000.
I thought you rolled a
10.
1, and I was like, whatever's gonna happen to you, dude, I'm sorry.
That was a 10? Okay.
Yeah.
As you all watch as Caliban returns to consciousness, a scream and rictus expression of fear present upon his face. For the next 10 hours, Caliban, you experience uncontrollable tremors, the fear set deep within your bones. You avoided the exhaustion, which didn't give you the disadvantage on ability checks. Unfortunately for you, you now have disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws that involve strength or dexterity, as what you saw does not leave you and has sunk deep into your conscious mind, penetrating down into your subconscious itself. And that sense of terror, that sense of nothingness, of being just an ant among beings that shape the world around them with but a thought, cannot be shaken. And on that moment of long-term madness that has set in for you, that is where part 1 of The Shadow Within the Hill will come to a wrap.
Damn.
Thank
Right.
God, because it's 4 a.m.
Yeah. Everybody give it up for our guest DM. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Glad you thought so.
Yeah, that was great. Just the atmosphere and everything, and like I said, also don't get to play very much. So I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. This is awesome. Is this what everybody gets every week? This is nuts. All right. So what a fabulous premiere to season 2 of One Shot Wednesdays. So at the end of the show, we go around real quick. You've seen the characters that they occupy. Let's go ahead and meet the amazing people behind them. Let us start once again with our first timer. David, thanks for coming out. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll see you next week for part 2. Just give us a quick little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer, single dad, live in Canada. Pretty new to D&D. I've only played before, like one campaign up to level 3 before. But I'm loving it, and you know, if I'm not doing that, I'm, you know, spending time with my kid or playing video games. You know,
It's a common theme here. All right, awesome. Like I said, thanks for coming out.
The standard status quo.
Thanks for coming out. Hope you enjoyed it.
Loved it. Yeah.
Nick, hey buddy. I've never made you roll a D100. I've never let you use a musket, so there's that. And now you got the shakes, homie.
Just like real life. Let's get in shakes.
Right.
But yeah, so my name is Nick. I have been on Manny's show at least a dozen times now, or at least getting close. Yeah, I love it. I've been coming back here more and more, especially as you know, as unemployment set in for long and long. You know, I had lots of free time. Which, speaking of which, I got a job today. I start Wednesday.
Congrats, homie.
But yeah, I really appreciate Sam running this game. This was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to the conclusion. The setting, like the mood that you put, is just stupendous.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Now, I'm entirely grateful that you all have played it and seem to have taken in with the mood and that it wasn't cheesy or anything like that.
No, definitely not.
It was great. All right, let's go to Raz, who is the homage of the booping of snoots, who did it to at least one dragon, maybe multiple. So I saw Polar Master and I knew I had to do it, so that was for him. Yeah, Raz, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, man, booping dragons, gods, weird celestial wolf things.
Yeah,
if it's got a snoot.
Displacer pig. That's all I thought of for the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing with you months ago. I found that one Reddit post to sign up for one game and accidentally became a regular. And for the first time ever, we're on the same side of the screen, and that's pretty awesome. It's nice seeing you to stretch your wings.
Yeah, can't stay locked away forever.
Yeah, about time, man.
Like I said, this was a big deal. Sam, like I said, Nick and Raz, they come around a lot, and I've DM'd for them a lot. And the idea that we get to play together is kind of a big thing we're looking forward to. And to bring somebody new is kind of a big deal. So once again, thank you. This was absolutely, like, creepy. My non-D&D wife is now going to shit all over my show because I don't do scary. So appreciate that. Sam, tell us about yourself, and once again, thank you from myself and from everybody who played tonight. This was truly absolutely amazing, and we thank you. It was brilliant.
Well, I just want to thank you all for playing in the first place. So I suppose I should thank my internet. It's only now beginning to mess about, so thank God for that. But yes, I'm a university student here in the UK doing psychology, which is where I get the madness from, I suppose. Yeah, luckily I have a lecture at 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, so I can actually sleep in because it's 4:05 in the morning. But yes, this whole thing is born from the madness of my insane and the dark corners of my mind, I suppose. So it's fun getting to actually run this one shot, which has been kind of brewing back there for a couple of years now, I think. And yeah, I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to come on here and DM for this, and again, thank you all for being my players for this evening and for next evening as well, next week.
Awesome, thanks, buddy.
No, it's a great setting.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. I mean, I think it should be a full campaign.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy, and like I said, Nick said, the mood and the ambiance and the feel of it is just it's riveting and terrifying at the same time for somebody who's jaded and dead inside like myself. So thanks once again to our players, to Sam, our guest DM. I've been Manny at GrowedUpGeek on all your social media. Tune in next Tuesday here on the channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for what will be the finale of the live play section of our first campaign on the channel, Twilight Malediction. We are at the end. The final encounter will be next Tuesday. The week after that, we're going to do an epilogue episode and get ready for our next campaign, which will be starting November 16th. Tune in here next Wednesday for part 2 of this adventure as Sam comes back and tries to scare the shit out of us again. The week after that, we're going to get into our guest DM. I believe our Halloween episode is the week after Sam finishes up. He will be joining us on this side, yeah? For Litz's Halloween game? Cool. So we'll get to welcome him in and slide him over. Here to everybody who came out and watched tonight, thank you very much. We absolutely appreciate it. This is a great place, and if nothing else, it speaks to the power of this game and how people from literally the other side of the earth can come together on a Wednesday night to scare the shit out of each other and have a great time. I am eternally grateful for anybody who showed up to play, shows up to DM for me and takes the stress off. And then to everybody who watched out there on the internet, we really appreciate you. Your support means the world to us. We'll be back next Tuesday, if not next Wednesday. Thanks for watching, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.